Oh, hello, folks, and welcome on into the crow's nest. High atop, 60 feet up over the big boat, watching up ahead for icebergs, and tonight we're going to watch a little bit some Texas Rangers. That's all right, let's go get it. We took down game one last night to the Rangers, a hard-fought affair. The Rangers did not roll over and show their belly easily. We had to earn that one. And on the back of Ty France going Hall of Fame on us in a game, 3-3 there. Even took one for the team with the elbow. On the back of great base running by Eugenio Suarez, taking home on a key run as it turned out, because you needed every bit of that insurance that you did get yesterday. But Seattle was able to get the win. Big win coming off a tough sweep of the Astros at home, a big series that you had hoped to have done so much more upon. And so you come now into this opening game of the Rangers, kind of make right, get back to front, get this turned to the good direction here again. And tonight we get Julio. That's right, my guy is coming back. And by the way, you guys are not going to hear me call him J-Rod. There was an A-Rod. We're not calling Julio J-Rod because throw shade at Julio. Is he not good enough for his own little acronym? I think not. He needs to get his own. Let's jump on this. Let's start coming up with some good nicknames. Something's going to stick here, or we'll make it stick. Either way, I'm looking forward to a really great night of baseball, because on top of getting Julio back into the lineup, which always does help this lineup out considerably, we got George Kirby on the hill. Now, there are many Mariner fans that I've heard from out there and read online, and they've spoken about how, if we were looking to do a deal for a guy like Soto, I'd actually be okay with Gilbert. If I had to give up Gilbert, then I've got Kirby. I'm higher on Kirby. Almost that Kirby for them would be the untouchable in that deal. And Kirby has certainly shown flashes this year of being electric. He certainly has more an assembly of pitches than Gilbert does. And maybe just a little bit slightly better overall stuff. But he has not yet gotten to this first peak of being just a little bit better than average to a legitimately top end of the rotation type pitcher like Gilbert has. He is still waiting to take that step. It's no shade of Kirby that he hasn't. The kid's a rookie. What are we expecting here? And Gilbert needed to take his year. So it's not that I'm not expecting him to get there eventually, but it's again where I come back in these situations and just, a little caution. Let's have a little bit of caution with this kid. Let's let him take his time to develop and become what he is going to become. Either way, he's got some real live stuff. He's a fun pitcher to watch here come up against this Texas Rangers lineup. Much like yesterday with Otto, the Rangers are not exactly running out the creme de la creme against us in our lineup. So this could be a game that if Kirby can get himself steady early as a young pitcher, it's always what you worry about. It's like, you got to get him into their rhythm. If he can get into his rhythm, then perhaps we're going to be looking good here. And he looks good right out the gate, pumping in a 97-mile-an-hour fastball right about belt high for a strike. It's Vector 7283, Devin, Big Country. How you guys doing? Good to see you in the chat. Slider misses down and in. Down and away, sorry. Hot looking lineup is right today. Spectre 7. It's a sexy lineup. And I'm not talking about the dudes. I'm talking about the bats. Ball 2 on the outside corner. Another little slider misses off. Kirby licks his hand. Gets set. Fastball high. 3-1 to Marcus Semien. All right, let's not walk the opening batter of the game. Make him swing that bat, kid. Kirby's got that free and easy 97. And misses just a little bit low there for ball 4. So got ahead and then 4 quick pitches behind. Like I said, that's a little bit what you worry about these young pitchers a little bit, is that sometimes once they get into their rhythm and they're in their mode, they're great. But getting to the point where they're in that rhythm and in that mode is sometimes a bit of a bumpy ride. Mark says, what did you think about the Chris Carson news? Well, Mark, you know, being a mod on the other channel, long time listener on the show, that there was no surprise to me that Chris Carson was retiring today. I've been calling that for all off season. All right, here's the wide delivery, knocked high into the air. It's another one where I complained about the Mariners doing that same thing, and Julio makes the catch, where you just see the guy get walked on 4 straight pitches, and then you walk up there hacking. I know you're the 2-hitter, but approach. So, with me, Mark, this was, to me, it didn't even garner a shrug to me. I had taken it for granted that Chris Carson was going to be retiring. I've been trying to I probably had to say he's going to retire in my chat over this off season. I must have said it 60 times, and so I've never wavered on this, especially when I understood the details of the surgery, where it wasn't just a fused spine simply. There was other elements at play. And Kirby comes into Jonah Heim with a quick pitch slider for a strike right over the plate. Some great movement there. Started off the plate, worked in. As far as Carson, I think he was a very good player for us. As tough a back as you see outside of Marshawn Lynch, with running the football and fighting for every inch and not going down easy. 0-1 delivery here. Swing and a miss. Gets him to chase outside on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. And I really appreciate that from Carson, because it makes it funner to watch a running game when you have a running back giving his all, right? Doing everything in his soul to get every yard he can, as opposed to the guys that'll die easy and are just sometimes looking for that big play. All right, so we got 0-2 here to Jonah Heim. Kirby comes set, looks over at first. Delivery, swing and a miss. 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and Jonah had no chance. He just looks back after meekly waving at the ball like, how am I going to touch that? Kirby's got that fastball where it's 97 on the gun, and it seems to get on hitters fast, right? It's like football speed, where you get the guys timed in a 40, but then they get on the field and I know with a gun, the speed is the speed, but with him, it's just maybe the movement of his pitches, the rising of that fastball a bit at the end. That's sort of where it seems to tail mostly, is kind of tails up, but just really explode. This is when they say that pitch explodes on the hitter. And I think that was a 95 there. He took a couple off there, fouled off. So I'm not. I'm not surprised by it, Mark. I appreciate what the guy did. He was a hard runner, but the injury situation was legitimate with him. He could not, 1 year of his career was he able to stay healthy with the Hawks. He might have gotten like 13 games one season, which is good, but he just always wore down. And another 96-mile-an-hour fastball right in the middle of the plate, and Adolis Garcia just can't do much with it. Fouls it back again. Quickly 0-2. I like him working the zone here. This is challenging hitters early on, especially after you kind of struggle with your control there off the first batter. Okay, you just realize maybe it's not nibbling time here. I got to stay off the edges and get back into the white a little bit here and make that. I've got movement. I've got an explosive arm. Let me challenge them here until I can find my control maybe a little bit, later on in this game, or even once I just get my initial sweat worked up. 0-2 pitch now. Runner leads off first. The delivery. Real nice slider. Thing swept right across the plate. Just onto the back edge of the outside corner. He had to swing on it because it was close enough, and most of that pitch's trajectory is over the middle of the plate. But it just tailed away like crazy. Great opening inning there by Kirby. So I do come back to Mark, is that almost no matter how good a player you are, availability is a factor in determining your value. And I also say that this is also the third, you've given out let's say you've given out a total since Sean Alexander of 5 big money contracts to running backs. And the first one you gave Sean, and then the extension you gave him were pretty good. But the third one you gave him bit you in the butt. The money you paid on that 1-year deal to Eddie Lacy bit you in the butt. The Sean Alexander money we paid him after his MVP season bit us in the butt. And though this Chris Carson contract wasn't insane, it also, it also is biting you in the butt. I think a lesson we got to learn here is let's not pay big money to running backs. Let's not give running backs multi-year deals also. But I appreciate Chris. That's why I didn't like the deal last year and was telling people, don't do this deal. You're not going to like it. We're not going to, maybe it's good to do right by Chris on it, but yeah. $283 says, sounds like Kirby's only going to go about 60 pitches. Makes sense. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with a kid in his rookie year just taking your time with that arm and building it up. We've seen too many times where guys have been rushed through because you got a good young arm and you're like, let's use it. No, this whole season we need to stay into our process and trust our process. And that means remaining patient overall in our approach. There's room for aggression in that patience, but it does mean on decisions like this, you would take a conservative, okay, pitch count, inning count. I mean, I think at one point or another, they're probably, when his innings start really ratcheting up, you're going to shut this down. So we need to go get another starter out there. 283. We need another starter. Leo steps up to the plate here. Takes ball 1 low. Dane Dunning on the hill for the Rangers. We're not exactly getting the same difficulty level we were getting from the Astros as start as the starting rotation to begin things off. And Julio quickly bounces one just into his foot there. After the swing, he kind of looks down a little bit at his hand, that left hand that's in question. Got to figure that that's still bothering him a little bit. 283, did I see BBK got released also? Yes, I did. Here's the pitch and delivery. Swing and a miss. Slider gets a little bit outside. 1-2. BBK is coming off the torn ACL. You have a lot of uncertainty at that linebacker position right now. Wouldn't be surprised in the least if they ended up going out and making a move for another backup linebacker. And then he really wasn't a fit as an inside 3-4 linebacker. So it isn't surprising because he's sub 5'10", 5'11" guy. You usually don't see those types in a 3-4. They can get away with doing it when they've got a front four up in front of them and protect them a little bit. But 2-2 pitch to Julio is bounced foul. Nice job by Julio there, kind of fighting that off. That was a good pitch. It's a good pitch. So much like Carson, not too surprising to me. I think more so than the torn ACL, it's the position thing. 2-2 pitch. Julio gives it a nice ride. That ball's carrying far deep over to left corner. Home run. Julio Rodriguez. Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, Julio. Looks like he took a slider there. Yep. Slider just went down and inside on him. He took that pitch right on the line, out to left field, right down the line. Wasn't even as much a hanger as far as the slider goes. It certainly had a little bit too much up and down to it as far as sliders go. Your curve, you can do that on purpose, but with the slider, it gets up and down. You might be in troublesville a little bit because then the hitter can read the trajectory of where the ball is going rather than worrying about up to down and left to right. Now he just has to worry about up to down and where he tracks that ball in there. But Julio did a great job of getting his hands turned around there, hands inside, and kept that ball inside the foul pole because, of course, that's also an easy kind of pitch to hook, just, where you just smash it, but you hook it wide. Ty France steps up and quickly batters a ball into the ground towards third base side, and he is thrown out. What a ride, though, by Julio, and I guess the wrist is okay. I will shut the F up. The wrist is fine. But great piece of hitting there by Julio. Shows you, man, he's not just a fastball pure hitter on that. Woo! That was nice. Got out in a hurry, too. I barely got a chance to blink, and it was off his bat and in the seats. No loft to that thing. Carlos Santana steps up now and takes a real well-located pitch for strike one on the outside corner, just on the black. Carlos hitting .213 with 9 home runs and 31 RBIs on the season. Waves the stick a little bit here. Comes set. Oh, 2 brutal pitches to Santana to start things off here. There was a cutter there that just rode right to the inside part of the plate. Carlos up, holds back on a nasty slider. He throws it in the dirt, trying to get him to swing. I actually like this at bat by Santana. He might end up having a problem here with striking out, being in 1-2, but I've given him some problem. I've given him a little bit of shade recently for some of his at bats. This isn't one of them right here. Those were 2 brutal pitches to begin things, especially when you're trying to be, as I'm advocating for, a little bit more patient at the plate. And then he swings wide on a slider outside for strike 3. Those first 2 pitches were real nice by Dunning, though. 2 different locations, both on the black. That one was not on the black. That was about 6 inches outside. Spectre7 says, during commercial break, you should be able to forward your FUBU live if you wanted. Keeps pace with Major League pitch by pitch. All right, I'll do that, man. Let me see how It's grayed out right now, so I don't know if that lets me go any further if it's grayed. But I'll try it on the commercial break if it lets me. Good looking out. I would like to stay track for track with it if I can, or I'll have to put a delay in on the window capture. Suarez 1-0 takes a strike, 1-1. Suarez hitting .236 on the year with 16 home runs. He's really been wearing out the Rangers in .306 with 3 home runs. Dunning gives him a nice pitch right over the middle of the plate, and he takes it, strike 2. That was probably is that a slider there, yeah. Dunning's got that Flexen thing with the slider cutter combo. Slider thrown in on ball 2, goes low there. Nice job by Suarez. Dunning showing a tendency here to really try to do a little bit of like Flexen yesterday, where if I get you in a pitcher's count, I'm going to just ground that ball. Does it again here on 2-2. So, Dunning's definitely a nibbler. We got ourselves a nibbler tonight, folks. We got a wee nibbler. He's going to just keep nibbling those edges. Up high. Oh, the ump was just about to call strike 3. You could see him just for like a fraction of a second and then went, no. I'd like to see the pitch tracker where that was. That was close. High up in the zone. Ooh. Eugenio might have caught a break there. It was borderline, but it was if it's for 2 strikes, you probably got to swing on that. I'm like a pitch and a half ahead, but I can slow down too. I'll try to see if I can up it. I will. If it lets me, but it's grayed out right now if I try to forward it. Here's the delivery into Jesse Winker now. 1-0. Winker adjusts his gloves, gets in there. Of course, Wink twisted his ankle the other day, stepping awkwardly on the first base. But Service looked at his lineup and he went, I have literally a black hole in left field right now, Jess. Get out there. He said, I need you to do a Gibby on me. I need a little Kirk Gibson 88 style here, okay? Go limp your ass out there and get a hit. Hey, they're both lefties. Similar stances, right? That's an old reference for you kids. All right, Winker's got a 2-0 count here, and he ain't gonna be patient. He's up there to do some damage. Swings 2-1. 283 says, I agree. Instead of a Soto trade, I would much rather go after another solid pitcher and another bat. I don't like the idea of selling the farm for one more player. I don't either. And it's sticky. 3-1 now on Winker. He takes inside. It's sticky when you're considering that you don't have any guarantee he's going to want to even sign a contract extension with you. You very well could find yourself in a position of giving up the farm. And the club control those players have, the years of club control those players have. Winker 3-1 takes outside. 3-2. I like the patience there actually by Winker to take there. Got a runner on first. Suarez drawing the walk, of course. 2 outs. Winker fights off a real tough pitch there. A little bit outside the zone, but good job by Wink. Mariners making this Ranger rotation work, and let's face it, the Rangers bullpen has not, up until this point this year, been necessarily their strength. So getting him to start to work with some pitches here. He's up to 24 for the inning already. That's pretty nice by our Mariners. All right, Winker wiggles his arms and gets set. Ball 4, another walk. So back-to-back walks here by David Dunning. I was mentioning with the nibble thing, you could kind of see him starting to get a little bit in that. And this is the thing with Flexen I saw too. You get into that 0-2, 1-2 situation, and you feel good. You're like, yeah, I got this mofo. And then you wind in that cutter, that slider real tight into your hand, and you give your arm just a little bit of extra action, and you do just a little bit of extra follow through, and you just try to just snap that thing as hard as you can. And most of the time, it's going to go into the dirt. And you're thinking that moment, I don't care if it goes in the dirt. Then it's 1-2. It's 2-2. The problem is that now you're starting to set your muscle memory in play where the next pitch is going to try to do kind of the same thing, even if you're not actively in your mind trying to make it do that. And it looked a little bit to me like here he's had that happen to him here after he got up on some of these hitters. Or on Suarez at least. First pitch. Oh, horrible call by the umpire. Brutal. Just gave him one there. Just bailed the pitcher out on that one. That was 2.5 inches below the legs there, and he called that. Eesh. 0-1. Hit hard. Through the hole. It's going to get through. Suarez is getting rounded through root. Third left fielder's up with it. Not even going to have a play at the plate. Suarez is walking in. In fact, he's doing a Michael Jackson moonwalk. Okay. Through to the plate. There we go. Mariners score. 2-0. Let's go. Let's go, Kyle Lewis. Crappy first call. BS. Gets in a little slider, takes it, works it off. Guys aren't just hitting so far. Him and Julio, it's been the sliders they're taking advantage of here so far. And Suarez, we know he can do one thing. He runs the bases pretty well. Great job. Like I've said about Lewis, man, let's not judge him where his batting average has been so far in the few times he's played or the in and out of lineup that he's done. Once he gets comfortable, you give me Lewis 2 weeks of regular injection into the lineup, say nothing of making him a daily part of the lineup. He's going to be he's going to give you phenomenally more better hitting than what you've gotten out of the DH position up until this point. Crawford in now, 1-0. The delivery, low. Ball 2. I like the patient approach by the Mariners hitters today. There's definitely been some high aggro, like we just shot some steroid in our butt. Let's go hit some baseball type energy going up on the plate lately. Need a little bit more of that. A little more of that Bob Marley energy. 2-0 pitch now. Dunning looking back. Crawford hit hard through the hole. Boy, he just, that was awesome. And it does get through, but he's going to hold up. Winker's going to hold up at third, so we're going to end up with bases loaded. But Crawford just hit the equivalent to the right side, exactly the same place that Lewis just hit to the left side from his right-handed stance. It was almost the exact same swing, exact same ball where it's hit hard, but it's just finding that hole. And hit hard enough to get past the fielder. Hit well. Both those balls are legitimate base hits there. But one reason you can take those kind of swings is because you get yourself, in this case with Crawford, get yourself into a hitter's count. Nice job on his part. Mariners got the bases loaded. There are 2 outs. David Dunn has now reached 31 pitches. 30 or 31, depending on whether you monitor the tracker or the thing. I guess some trackers ahead of the live stream. Here we go. Just outside. Ball 1. Cal Raleigh stepping up to the plate. Cal been swinging a pretty good bat lately. Rangers are employing their shift. They're not doing the Uber shift, just the partial, where you don't get all 4. It's the 3. Delivery and hit hard, but pulled foul into the seats. The second level, 1-1. What's up, D-boy? Good to see you on the house, man. Hope you're doing well. Y2K, what about a trade for Paxton if the Sox are sellers? Kind of risky. I'm out on Paxton. I'm out on his injury stuff. We don't need more injury question marks on this team. We need more certainty right now. And if I'm making a trade, if I'm going to do it, I'm not saying we got to go big or go home type energy, but I mean, come on. We've been down this Paxton road. That maple tree's it's missing some branches. Don't got no leaves on it anymore. I think there might be some bugs inside that tree. Let's go find some oak. Some good solid oak. All right, so we got 1-2 count here on Cal. Julio is on deck. The Mariners are up 2-0 here on the back of a very well-played first inning. Pitcher looking in. Cal fights it off, but it's going right to the first baseman there. Can't do much with that pitch. Just kind of rolls it on over. And that will end the inning. So a lot of base runners, a little bit of damage. But nonetheless, good to see Julio bounce back looking good as he gives the Michael Jordan Portland Trailblazers 92 shrug as he goes to first base on his home run. That's pretty cool. Okay, so you're going to have to tell me if there's a step I'm missing on this. Because, it doesn't let me go forward at all. This is as forward as it's going to let me go. So you'll have to tell me if there's something I'm missing. I know there's the little jump ahead buttons you can do, but it's not letting me jump ahead. It's not letting me. You guys just have you guys just have better ping than me, okay? Your ping is better. But 2-3, I certainly think pitcher, hitter, trust some of these other hitters like Lewis coming back into the fray. But the pitcher is the one now that just really does stand out to me. I think there's going to be a lot of competition with teams trying to make moves at the deadline as well. I don't want to get into the room where we're in a bidding war up till 4 a.m, trying to, pay premium prices then on something that's not going to give you what you think you're getting. Y2K says, I do have Julio and Franz, Gilbert, Ray, and Seawald on my fantasy team, and I'm also in first place. Let's go. Hey, that's a good start to a team right there. Julio is back. Big time. Devin, I paused the game for about 10 to 15 seconds. I think that's usually I have to do this as well because it's also, I think, not just because I'm behind, but because I think YouTube with how it pushes it out is a little bit behind. I might be able to set up the buffer to where it's like there's no delay, but then when you do that, there's a chance that the broadcast can get interrupted and then not re-catch itself back if you go that route with it. But that could be kind of causing it too. But that's what we have to do in football season usually. Y2KHA says, you're almost guaranteed Soto doesn't want to stay. He's going to go to the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Sox. I agree, man. It's the part. I think that's where you get close up on that 1-to-1 to do that trade. And that's where that starts getting you walking back a bit, where you go, okay, all these prospects, some of the best haul that has ever been given up. And we're getting this amazing player, but we might only be getting him for 2 years. I don't know. If this team was maybe a hair bit further along, I might be more in that go mode. But I'm going to be interested to see what they get, and also interested to see if the Nationals don't just eventually say, we're not getting enough at the deadline. We're going to wait until the offseason. Because the haul will be the same, outside of him, of course, getting injured. 0-1 delivery here to Nathaniel Lowe is a little low for 1-1. Kirby comes set. Gets him to swing high. Kirby's been doing a nice job of getting the hitters to swing out of the zone on the fastball early on in this game. How about Kyle Lewis? K-Lou. 23 says Grand Slam, I'm calling. Mark, off topic, but one of your Godfather Law and Order guys and Wally passed away in the last 2 days makes me feel old. Yeah, Sorvino. Strike 3. Nice job. I was looking away there. I didn't see what happened. Hopefully they show a replay there. Woo! Got him with the four-seamer. The four-seamer with that late Kirby movement. And I mean, that thing, when I say it's on the black, I'm saying like the outer stitch of the ball. One stitch was touching the black. So strikeout here. It pitch is almost in the very same place, the same almost pitch here. Kirby's starting to feel pretty good here early on, which is good to see. Coaching staff told him, man, you get 60 pitches. Do with that what you will. Second pitch is fouled off, a slider. I'm still liking what I'm seeing too so far, Big Country. It's all right. You made him work. Get into that Rangers bullpen. Get to the weaknesses of baseball teams. It's a pretty good approach. 0-2 delivery here to Leota Taveras. Hit high in the air. And, man, Crawford made a play of it. He tried to gun him out. France stretched. And he might not be walking right for a week after that stretch. But they almost made a play on him. But Taveras has got some decent wheels. That ball was like... It reminded me of the Minnesota indoor stadium they used to be on with their AstroTurf, and how balls would hit the turf and bounce up. That's how high that thing went. It was like it went off AstroTurf. Crawford barehanded it, and he laser beamed that thing into Ty. Ty gave it his all too, but there was really no chance on that play. It was just hit too high in the air. Kirby comes set now with one out. Ferris on first. A little outside. Two eight three says, "Yep, looks like we're going to see the Rangers bullpen early today." Well, that's what I'm saying. Looks like to me too, which is bloody brilliant. Cole Calhoun at the plate took 1-0. Here comes the delivery from Kirby. Hit on the ground, right to Ty France. Gets it over to Crawford. Back to France. Turn a sweet double play. Didn't talk about it at the top of the show, but they did show a great little graphic. Did Root Sports at the top of this. At just how through the first 90-plus games, the Mariners have had so few errors. And it's a part that I haven't lauded them for enough here over the 4 days of streaming of how good they've done in the field. I have knocked a couple of these guys for range situations at moments, in the outfield especially, where it was kind of noteworthy, I thought. But this team plays very clean baseball. France has been very, we laud him for his stick, but has he not been great with the glove as well? Certainly the stick is a little bit better, but it helps. You put this team together with great starting pitching and great defense, and then build on the back of that. It can take the offense a little bit of time to maybe find itself, and you can still be a very good ball club because those two factors work very well together, I think, especially in this stadium. That's baseball, baby. Y2KHA says the crazy thing about the Mariners' win streak was how often the bases were loaded and how bad we were with the bases loaded, laughing out loud. Leaving runners on base has been an issue throughout the season, and it's one that they, really would do well to try to clean up. I don't know if it's guys trying to do too much in moments or what it could be. That would be my guess on it, is just guys trying to rather just put a good swing on the ball. It's like playing a little hero. But, that's generalized. Who knows? Moment to moment, it could be different with that. All the same, if they improve just a little bit in their ability to hit with runners in scoring position, they would be dominating some teams. They'd be winning games, 6-7, 8-1, 8-2, Sector 7 says, yeah, nah, that's it. Weird that it has me ahead of you. You are on Fubu, right? I am, but I think there's a delay between me to YouTube. So the YouTube delay might be the thing as much as anything that's putting me behind you. But I'll check and see if there's a setting on it, which is maybe just remove the buffer time down, and we'll give it a test on the next one. First pitch swinging here, right out the gate. Hit deep, but easily tracked down in center field. Frazier just stepping up swinging. So I'll see if on the next stream I can get that to where it just does it. Where it does it like it should. Where it a little more keeps a little closer pace. Y2K says, I'm telling you guys, Tavares guy is freaking amazing. He's got a few weaknesses to his game from what I can see so far. That is for sure. All right, the man of the hour so far, Julio Rodriguez, steps back up to the plate after hitting a home run. I guess that little bit of refresh time was helpful to him. He takes a cutter a little bit high on the first pitch for ball one. Dunning already up to 36 pitches here through an inning and a third. Comes set, the wind delivery outside, 1-1. I'm with you though, Y2K. He's impressing me the more I see of him. Mullet Guy, what's up, man? How you doing, Mullet Guy? Good to see you in the chat. All right, 1-1 now. Swing and a miss. Julio loaded up the. He was looking for the big dog to go hunt on that one. Just missed it on that one. 1-2. It's hard to rock those glasses Dunning's rocking and not look like a complete nerd. Here's the wind, and Julio fights it off. Foul. Nice job just kind of staying with that pitch there. Didn't try to do too much with it. If I got to wear glasses on the baseball field, I think I'd almost just lean into it and just have them look super goofy. These things where they're trying to wear they're Oakleys, but they're glasses with that. It just screams to me like I feel like you should be out there welding. Julio hits a long, deep drop. That one looked a little bit deeper off the bat than it was. He got a little bit under that one. Just missed that one. That's 2 outs. God, I thought he hit that for a second. That one confused me for a moment, fellas. I ain't gonna lie. Hope you're doing good tonight, D-boy. Tavares used to be a really highly rated prospect, and everyone gave up on him, but he's only 24. People can tend to do that. That's for sure. We've seen that with Kelnick, right? Our own guy that's going through it at 23 years old, and there's a lot of people that are already completely out on him. France steps up, first pitch swinging, knocks it foul. But guys do develop at their own pace. They do. And you gotta take that into account. There does reach a stage with the prospect where you go, okay, you're 25. You're struggling between AAA and the big league ball club, and you're not doing well when you're on the big league ball club. But 24 is not yet that age. And I think you do give them that one more year to see if they can figure it out. We're in a weird age as far as hitters go, and as far as where the game is being so suppressed as it kind of feels offensively right now. A lot of Viva La France shirts in the stadium. That's cool. Hit foul. They got guys waving French flags in the stadium and wearing Viva La France shirts. Hey, after last night, you better have a crew in that stadium wearing those shirts. All right, 0-2. A little low there by Denning. Spectre7 says there's people in the stands eating whole loaves of bread. I love it. Hey, when in Rome, you know, if you're going to go in that stadium, you're not in on a calorical count. You're in there to take in the experience. All right, here. Tough little bat for Ty France. Ooh, good eye there. Outside, 2-2. It was pretty wide, but definitely Dunning is being very careful with Ty France. First base open and 2 outs. He's not yet giving him anything meaty to hit. And again, puts it out over the plate. France gets fooled a little bit there. Out in front. Knocks it meekly to center field. 3 straight flyouts, and that will retire the side. All right, well, we go to the top of the third. Mariners up 2-0. Lucas Gates, thanks for live streaming. Appreciate it. Hey, thank you, Lucas. I'm really having a ball doing these live streams, and so I'll like to keep them up. We got Seahawks going on tomorrow, so I'm gonna be definitely over on my Hawks Nest side tomorrow, talking about the opening of training camp. So probably be missing the game tomorrow, but we'll be back at this throughout the rest of this season. That's part of why I wanted to do this channel, was to really mainly be able to lock in on these live streams and make it kind of a common part of your Mariner season as we go forward, not just this season, but into future seasons. Appreciate you. Thank you. 283128 says they also have baguettes. I'd go in there like fasting, right? I'd go in there fasting, which would be hard because there'd definitely be some beer consumption before the game. But you go in there at least real food fasting. You can be on the liquid diet for most of the day, let's say, which is good because then you get your bang for your buck with the alcohol. But then you go in that stadium just ready to fill that whole tub up, right? I'm going to have everything. Like I said, you might as well. You know, how often do you get to be in that stadium? That's how baseball's always been, you know? Hot dogs, baseball, peanuts, fries. Especially modern baseball. They got all this, like you said, baguettes. They're getting all fancy with it now. They used to just serve the food that they could slop off a pile up for you. Like, here, have some of that. Now it's like they make it. Seahawks 12 man says Mariners are performing good. They are performing good. I like what I'm seeing out of this team right now. I like what I'm seeing out of this team. Do please, guys, if you do, remember also hit that like button if you are in on the chat for me now, or even listening on replay. It does help this channel out considerably. All right, so Kirby back up on the hill. We, as was reported earlier in the chat, he's probably on a 60 pitch count at this point, which is okay because he's only thrown 23 pitches here through 2 innings, and he's quickly got the batter 0-1 here. Swing and a miss on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball at the top of the zone. 0-2. You know you get a batter messed up when he's got to start rubbing the dirt after he swung and missed. If I'm a pitcher at that point, I'm like, oh, I got this. I got this sucker. Batted meekly down on the other side of the plate, but a great piece of hitting by Josh Smith. Mariners had a uber shift on that play, and Smith couldn't hit it more weakly. And he just sort of kind of knocked it over to where third base would normally be and gets a base hit. That's, again, where people say that the shift thing is going to change everything, you know, because now these batters are going to be able to just, you know, hit it through these huge holes to the sides of the field. And that's where I counter. Yeah, there's also these other hits, though, that we see that happen on plays that would have been just routine plays to a third baseman. So nobody out, runner on first here. Oh, that looked painful. It's a strike, fastball. The ball kind of ricocheted off the glove of Cal Raleigh, and it looked like it hit him right on the inside part of his groin. And Cal's tough. He's shaking it off, but he's probably under all that mask right now going. And thank God for cups. I'll say that. That's why you wear cups if you're a catcher, kids. 0-1 delivery. Outside. Fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mark Abercorn says, you and Brendan this week as well? I'm hoping so, Mark. I'm definitely down to do it. I think Brendan's been a little bit busy, and we've just been kind of waiting for there to be some news. But I expect us to have some topics to discuss and cover. So I'll be on his channel. I think it's his turn, I think. So I'll be on his channel on Thursday. That ball's hit up into the air. Winker is giving chase, but he will watch it go 7 rows back for a foul. So it's being reported by Jen Mueller that he is expect him to go 4 innings and 60 to 70 pitches. The Mariners want to be smart in building him back up. Expect similar for his next start too. So Kirby's definitely probably going to be lucky to get through the 5th inning at this point, unless he can get through some quick action here in the 3rd. Ball's hit up into the air. Winker giving chase. He's got a track on it. Winker definitely looking a little ginger with that ankle, but makes the catch. Julio taps him on the shoulder and says, "Hey man, I know your ankle hurts. I'll come get it. Just chill." I got that. All right, so 1 out now. Top of the 3rd. Kirby comes set, takes a peek over at first base. The delivery. Slider, low. Ball 1. Sector 7 says there was one drunk time and a buddy baked fresh bread and ate it whole, buzzed out of our minds. Hey, when you're drunk, everything tastes good. Just about. And certainly bread. I mean, bread is just like candy when you've had a few. 1-0 now. Slider goes into the dirt. 2-0. Let's not mess around here, George. Let's not mess around. Why is he being so careful here at the start of this at-bat, this guy? He's back at the top of the lineup. So he just doesn't want to get into the middle of the order here. 2-0 pitch. Got the batter to swing outside. Simeon knows it. Kind of smacks his bat. That ball is a couple inches outside and got him to swing at it. Does a good job on that fastball of getting hitters to swing 2-3 inches both outside and up out the zone. Does Kirby. Y2KHA, I hate how you don't get yelled at people selling hot dogs and beer anymore up and down the aisles. That sucks too. Yeah, there was an ambiance to that, isn't there? Kind of a feeling it gives to the game. Now that was a beautiful pitch. 95 miles an hour on the outside corner, black at the knees. Great pitch by Kirby. It's more like it, George. Don't mess around. Don't mess around with Marcus. He's not comfortable. Put another fastball right there on that outside part of the plate. Bury him with another fastball right out there. Slider. Outside plate, but slider misses low. Mark said he said yes earlier on his live stream. Well, then we're a go, Mark. We're go for launch. I will be on his side 6, 7 o'clock on his channel. We got some stuff to talk about here too. Sounds like the DK deal's coming soon as well. I got a thumbnail for the DK signing, Mark. I already put that sucker up. I already got that thumbnail prepped. He's got a Largent tattoo. I'm going big on that thumbnail, Mark. I'm gonna revel in that. Everyone telling me he's gonna be traded through the whole offseason. All those Jets fans and every team, Green Bay Packer fan, who give it to us 2 third-round picks for DK. We have to pay him still. 3-2 delivery here to Marcus Simeon. He pops it high into the air into center field. This will be easy for Julio. Makes the catch. 2 men out. Kirby's at 35 pitches here. So, yeah, indeed. He's going to have a hard time getting past inning number 4. Sucks because he's pitching really well. 283 says Astros losing 4-0 to the A's in the third. They blew their wad, man. They got it so amped up for that series in Seattle that they have nothing left. They're in a refractionary period now. And they think it's against the A's. They could take that breath, and the A's are plucky, you know. They're always plucky. 2 outs now. Deliveries, slider, hit on the ground, bounced over to the shift. Frazier's there, throws him out to Ty France, and that will retire the side. So great job here by Kirby. 36 pitches through 3 innings. See if we can get one more out of the guy. Give him a chance to at least go 5 so we can get the dub. Come on. Come on. Y2K says Simeon is dangerous. Had a rough start. I suppose so. And there's a thought process there if you're a starting pitcher going at this Texas lineup where you go, this isn't the Astros lineup. There's only so many guys that can do damage to me in this lineup. And maybe I'm going to be careful with those particular ones. Certainly worked out there. Dragon Dude, what do you think about Julio's home run? I've long said with this, we've seen a couple of hitters. Astros did it on back-to-back home runs against Robbie Ray. And Julio just did it there, taking a slider, coming down and inside. And it's not the right-handed hitters can't hit that pitch, but more often than not, when they lay the barrel of the bat on the ball in those kind of pitches, they're going to put them foul. A lefty has got, for whatever weird, evolutionary, strange reason, has a little bit of a better ability to get underneath those kind of baseballs where it's not as much a surprise to reach the seats with those kind of pitches. But if you have a right-hander pulling off those kind of home runs, that's where it becomes noteworthy. He's not doing this on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball that's over the dead center part of the plate. He's not doing this on a hanging curveball that didn't curve. He's doing this on a slider that's jagging left to right, down towards his toes, and he's getting those quick hands through the zone that he has to still get the barrel of the bat on the ball and keep it inside the foul pole. And it's just one of the things with him. He's a guy that he's talented for a multitude of reasons in that he's got a very pure swing too. It's not just a pure pull hitter swing. He's going to do with the pitch. He has the talent to do with the pitch whatever the pitch is doing to him, and he can react to it live like that. And that's why he's also so good at going the other way and still hitting with power the other way, because he always has those quick hands to send it through the zone whenever he wants, and the ball just then leaps off of his bat. But awesome home run, Dragon. And encouraging to see, because you definitely had some worries about where maybe that wrist was coming into this game. Santana swings and misses on the first pitch for strike 1. Swing strike 2. Dunning just went slider changeup on him. Carlos has had a bit of a tough roll here to begin things. Hang in there, Santana. Takes that ball high. Good job. The first pitch was close, but it's tough for that first pitch because this is the fun part of thinking about a batter when they go through the game and what they deal with, and then the adjustments they make and human nature. Because Santana in his first bat on the first 2 pitches got 2 pitches that were absolutely filthy. Movement on the black, low. And so first pitch comes in low, looking close to the black. You can see it on the pitch tracer. And he swings over the top of a slider there that's right in the middle of the plate. And Santana's just got to be really frustrated a little bit right now. So you come up and then you're like, well, I'm not just sitting here going to have that happen to me again. If it's close, I got to take a swing. But then you get yourself back in trouble and you're at bat at that point. You're into the pitcher's count, and a guy like Dunning is going to then start to nibble around on you and try to get you to chase. And he does that on pitch 2. And then it's all downhill then for Santana through the rest of the bat. Mark says, okay, making me laugh, but hurts still. Oh, well. All right. Nice job by Eugenio, taking ball 1 here to begin things. Oof. It's a tough pitch right there. This little slider starts in at the batter and just breaks just across the plate and down below it. I don't even know if it ever really caught the zone. It just looked like it caught the zone. Alex says this guy deserves 1 million subscribers. Thank you, Alex. That's very kind of you to say. And Suarez hits a nice little pitch right up over the middle for a base hit. Nice job, Eugenio. Let's go. Let's go, Eugenio. Very kind of you to say, though, Alex. Very kind of you, man. Thank you. Randall McDaniel. What's up, brother? Be going live tomorrow, man, for sure on the Nest. So I hope you're ready. Hope you're ready. We'll see if we got a DK contract by that point. Called it on the Carson. Called it. Good to see you in here, man. Says Randall says game different juice when Julio's playing. As the kids say, it just hits different. It is, man. You can have a slapper lineup without Julio, but you can't have a banger lineup without Julio, to also use one of these kids' phrases, okay? So it can slap, but it can't bang, you know? And you can win slapping, but you can win much more when you bang. Yeah. All right, so we got 1-0 count here to Jesse Winker. Dunning gets set. Knocked over to first base. Looks like a double play ball. Kind of a... What the hell just happened? What a weird, strange play. So he hits it to the first baseman. I don't know if the first baseman sort of the base Eugenio came to a stop and it mesmerized the first baseman. So Eugenio just sort of came to the stop, and the first baseman, I don't know if he was thinking tag. I'm going to tag Eugenio and not throw it to second. But it looked like one of those just routine, you pick it at first, throw it to second, back to first kind of plays. But he just totally froze. Eugenio just like Jedi'd him. These are not the droids you're looking for. All right, Kyle Lewis back up to plate now with 2 outs. Runner on first still. Winker replaces Eugenio. Nice job holding back up on the bat there by Kyle Lewis for ball 1. And you're right, Randall, it is different, though, with Julio. Like I said, it's more of just the impact. He gives you impact as far as bat, just in what he does. But it's just him in the lineup and his presence. It's him in center field, his coverage out there with his speed. It's all goes together to really give this kind of lineup a bare minimum of what it needs to be somewhat dangerous. All right, Winker getting a nice lead out there. Us slow guys got to sometimes get that extra lead, you know. When they got to time us with a sundial, we got to get an extra step or two to kind of make sure we're not going to look foolish out there. Got to be faster with your brain. 283 says, ever since the Jamal trade, Jets fans have acted like they robbed the Bank of Spain. That's what they were doing too. You're beautiful, he said, 283. That's what bothered the hell out of me about it. Because they're coming in like little buzzards and they're just, you know, a little snide and snickering like, ooh, we'll give you a little third-round pick for him. Ooh, get out of here. You know? And then you start talking to me like, why don't you give us a first and a second? They're like, no, it's ridiculous. No one's doing that. Oh, nice pitch there. That might have been the cutter there on the outside corner. It looked cuttery. It's a good pitch there for Lewis to take, though. You ain't doing anything with that. 1-1. So he's going right back to that spot. Comes back with a slider now. That's a good combo. The cutter's got a little bit of the slight movement to it, right? And then now you throw the slider, which is going to have much more movement, and he's just not going to be able to touch it. Telecast is showing a lot of first-round pick Cole Ford there right now on the thing. I don't know if that's noteworthy. Nice job by Lewis. Holds up on this one. The very same kind of slider thrown to the backside. Backside of the plate again, off the plate. And this time he holds up. It's good at bat by Lewis. 2-2. 2 men out. Way outside. They're trying to go back and get that sweeping slider. Dunning gets in that thing where like I said, he gets up in the count, and he starts to overthrow that slider a little bit, instead of just stay in your spot, stay locked in, stay where you were at with what you were doing. 3-2 delivery. Swing and a miss. Right over the top of I think that was a changeup. Okay. That's a great mixing of the pitches. Cutter, slider, change. Pretty tough to deal with that. Not easy. Y2K HS, is it not possible to super chat? We got to get it to 1,000 Y2K. So I got to get to 1,000 subscribers. And until then, it's all in the house. Y2K says, my super chat question was going to be, what would your lineup be when Haniger comes back? So it does sound like I was hearing last night, according to Dipoto, that they are going to be bringing Haniger back at a relatively gentle speed. Like they're going to have him hit first, and then he'll start playing the field. So it's as I suspected, this is a 2-week process until we're going to really have a chance to really seeing him at all on a consistent basis. And even then, they might be a little measured in their approach, Y2K. I think out the gate, you're going to see lefty-righty with Winker and Haniger when he first comes back. I think Haniger will eventually be taking more time away from Winker when it's all said and done, because you're going to end up even though you're going to end up facing more right-handed starting pitchers, and thusly you'd normally think you'd see more Winker then, I think actually you're going to see more of Haniger at that point as they get deeper into the season, especially if they're needing some wins. So I think that's your side. On the left side, that's kind of where you set it. The right side's a little bit more of a question mark at this point, quite frankly. I like what Haggerty's giving you out there on that side from a defensive standpoint. With him and Julio, you have a tremendous amount of coverage in your outfield now, even with the fact that with Winker and Haniger, you don't. They're not doing that on the other side in left field. So I still like that, but there's going to be, I think, that mix, because it's significant. Y2K, it's significant. A left-handed batter is going to bat better against a right-handed hitter versus a left-handed. Same's going to be true for a right-handed hitter. And so a manager is going to play those odds. And if he has the benefit of having two quality outfielders at one position, like a left field, like we do, then you're going to run that matchup more often than not. Because it's an easy place for you as a manager to control the game and feel like you're having a positive effect on a very straightforward decision. Devin says Santana is 1 for his last 12, is what they said. Yeah, it's he's struggling through a little bit right now, and it's just kind of the devil that knows you in those moments, because it's like when you're struggling like that, that's of course when you start getting those gnarly pitches, and you're just behind in every count, and his plate discipline's not been great. There's a little bit of, he's like a left-handed Eugenio a little bit, like a lesser poor man's Eugenio on the left side in the feast-famine thing. But he's also been pitched to pretty well too. Kirby comes out here at the start of the 4th inning with 2 quick strikes on Jonah Heim. Knocked out of play, foul. As I said, we do looking at probably having him on a 50 to 60 pitch count here, and Kirby's worked his way up to 40 pitches now. Randall says, did you see Russ go into camp today in Russ jersey? I assume he has a photographer there to take his pic. It wasn't organic. Swing and a miss, top of the zone. He says, here, Daisy, if you do, I'll be your huckleberry. Kirby gives him a little bit of that Daisy do. I don't think you can catch up to this, Jonah. You better go find a whale. You better go find a whale and crawl into his belly, because I'm about to strike your ass out. Nice job by George Kirby. 1 away. I did see that pick, Randall. Is that the one with him walking like he's got an explosion going on behind him in the background? With his, is that one that you speak of? And quick swinging there. Knocked on the ground and thrown out by Eugenio at first. So fast. Super fast. 2 outs here. But I did see that pick, and I don't know, Randall. There's something to it. I don't think it's organic. I mean, it's just him walking, and it's all well lit, and just something about it. I'm not sure. Can't quite put my finger on it. 2 outs now. Kirby with wide to delivery. Just pumping that zone, 95-mile-an-hour fastball, middle of the plate up, and Hitter's shaking his head. He's like, man, I got to do something with that. If I'm missing that, what's wrong with me? It's like that just coming too fast. You can see these pitchers. The hitters just don't seem to pick up Kirby. It's like they're a beat late on figuring out where that fastball is going to be going and what's coming out of his hand. Ball one there inside. Thank you, D-Boy, for reminding everybody to hit that like button for me. And a sub up. Let's get subbed up. Sub up. 1-1 now. Delivery in. Right in on the hands, 94 miles an hour. Nathaniel's not doing anything with that. You ain't doing nothing with that. Lowe struck out in his first at bat. Kirby working efficiently tonight. Challenging hitters in the zone as you'd like to see a guy do with this kind of explosive stuff. 1-2 delivery. Ooh, Nelly. Nasty Nelly. He pulled the string on that one. Four-seam fastball that just rode, just riding, starts right in on the shoulders of the batter and just riding, and eventually just clips the back of that plate. What a marvelous pitch. That's a marvelous pitch. And a lefty ain't doing nothing with that. In on the hands, 95 miles an hour, right at the black of the zone. Kirby has pitched wonderfully today. 4 strikeouts, only 1 walk, a mere 2 hits. Let's go, George. That'll do, George. That'll do. Big Country says, damn, maybe Kirby gets 6 innings at this pace. Yeah, let's see, he's at 45. So he can go back to Skip, and he's like, Skip. Come on. Give me the 5th inning. Give me the 5th, Skip. Come on. Just go get the dub. Service will let him out there. You know he will. Y2K says, do you guys think the Yankees might demolish Marco and Flexen? It's possible. I mean, it's possible. You know, those are definitely back in rotation guys. You know, the unfortunate part that comes in is that you are going to sit Kirby. So if you don't add another rotation starter, and even if you add another rotation starter, those guys are going to have to eat up some innings. They're going to have to do something. You can't really go into a series with a 3-man rotation. I mean, you can if you really want to, but teams don't tend to go that direction with it. That being said, Flexen, to me, I'd have a little more faith in. Gonzalez, I think, is really a guy he's got to be hitting his spots. And that's not always going to be there. And to be against a team like the Yankees, you know, his margin for error would just be minuscule against them. Yeah, Kirby's dealing. All right, so we got an 0-1 here. Quick count to Crawford. Dunning hasn't pitched bad on the other side of things here either. Once that one in trouble inning aside, he's been pretty good overall. Boy, they're showing that 4-seamer that Kirby threw at the last part of the inning. It's a fastball, so it's coming at you straight, but those 4-seamers have that movement. This ball is hit up into the air to center field. Easy play. 1 out. D-Boy says, Brandon, who would you trade out of our starting 5 pitchers for who and why? I got to be honest with you, D-Boy. I'm doing a better job of getting myself fully educated on this team from the top to bottom and looking at prospect stuff, but I'm definitely lacking right now as far as full knowledge of who's available and what's available out there at the major league level to go get. I mean, quite frankly, I wouldn't want to trade any of our starting pitchers at this point. Those would be almost kind of an untouchable situation unless I'm bringing back a starter, and even if I am, and slider it looks like on the other. That was a cutter. Outside part of the plate there. 0-1 to Cal Raleigh. But you're losing Kirby, right? So you're losing one starter right there. You're going to have to, you know, simply by adding a guy here at the deadline, you're just replacing then Kirby into that rotation as you get through the back half of the year. So if you talk about moving another one of your starting pitchers, you needed to make another move for another starter at that point. As there's not a clear guy, I don't feel like, in the minors who's going to step forward and give you what you can get out of Flexen and Marco. So I wouldn't want a D-boy move from many of our starters. That's got to be a no-go spot for us. If Kirby was still able to roll all the way through and not be shut down, it'd be something else. But that's just not the case. I do think that with that Cincinnati pitcher that's potentially available is a guy that looks kind of interesting. And I will do a little more look in D-boy. I'll do a little more research on guys that might make some sense here. Cal's been able to draw this to a 2-2 count. We're all 0 for 2 in this game with a strikeout and 3 men left on base. Of course, it was bases loaded, so it was all at once. Sounds worse when you say 3 men left on base, like he's been up 4 times. Swing and a miss. Swung right over the top of a slider at the bottom of the zone. 2 outs here. So I'll try to look a little more deeper, D-boy, into who might make some sense. I think a team that might soon emerge that's an interesting team not being considered as far as trade targets go and might be jumping to the fray here, who has a lot of guys I think that are going to be finishing up their contracts, so you could get them on the short-term deal, wouldn't cost as much, and that's the Red Sox. You know, the Red Sox are quickly faltering, and Frazier up to the plate now, takes a fastball at the knees for strike 1. And so with the Red Sox faltering a little bit, D-boy, that's going to hopefully start to open up more of that list a little bit of potential guys you could add. But we come back to, because the help that's returning, Haniger coming back, Lewis coming back full speed, maybe Kelnick comes back to this point at some point or another. You really are targeting in on just certain set positions. And starting pitcher, you know, maybe a second baseman, maybe if there's some crazy, strange deal that pops up that just makes a ton of sense, and Frazier bats it into the ground meekly to the second baseman, who then throws him out. I just don't think, though, that to me it's second base, right field, maybe, because if you make a right field move, you make it from a big-time guy that you'd probably be packaging with Kelnick in the deal to make it go. But I keep coming back to D-boy. It's starting pitching that you really are going to need to address. Bullpen you feel fine with. You know, the other positions are going to be what they are. You know, Cal, Eugenio, these guys aren't going to hit for big average, but they can give you some power numbers, timely hitting. Both play good defense. That to add with what you're bringing in the lineup could potentially become enough if the team can get a little bit hot. Oh, there you go. Thank you. 283 mentioned the name I was looking for, D-boy. So Luis Castillo from the Reds makes a lot of sense. And the Mariners just did make a trade at the start of the season with the Reds, with Winker and Eugenio. Though I don't know, the general manager for the Reds got so much blowback because that was termed a fire sale type trade for us. He might be coming back to Dipoto, and it's like, not again. Not again, Jerry. You trade raped me once. There will not be a second time. Come on. I won't do you again like that. Those were some good prospects I gave you. Have you seen what they're hitting right now? The Cincinnati media is at my throat. Come on. It's Trader Jerry. Let's go. Let's get to moving. What do you need? What do you want? You want wings back? We'll get your wings back. I don't want wings back. I want you not to trade rape me. Can't guarantee it. Come on. Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Come on. Who's your daddy? That's how I see the conversation going in my mind. Y2K says Chris Sale for the playoffs. Maybe he's got that. That was a horrific finger injury he had, where the ball went off his pinky, and it was like Russell Wilson hanging there, you know, like it had been half lopped off, and it was just being held by a single little thread of vein or something. So it wasn't looking good. But if he could come back, I mean, you don't need your pinky to pitch. I mean, it kind of comes under the underside, so it's going to hurt a little bit, but it's mainly your top fingers that you really need. Kirby back out on the mound. Good to see here. You can pick up the dub with this inning of work. And quickly pumps in a fastball. I think he's aware of it. Y2K says Drury you could trade for, second base. He might be fluky and might be kind of pricey. Well said. I don't know as much about him either. I haven't taken as close a look. Nice slider there. Gets him to swing and miss. 0-2. A lot of 0-2 counts by Kirby today. I mean, maybe the pitch scout can kind of teach him a lesson on this, which is especially if you got a little bit of a lesser lineup like this or a mid-grade lineup, go after him, challenge him. You've got upper level stuff that is going to draw a lot of swings and misses, even on times when you're getting a big meaty portion of the plate, as he just did there with the 95 mile an hour fastball that the hitter could do nothing with but bounce over to Ty France, who has a very easy play that he underhands over to George Kirby for out number 1. It's the they showed that M&M's graphic there. I have such PTSD with NFL flags, guys. You want to know what's hilarious? If you're watching the TV telecast, they just flash this M&M's graphic over the top of the little scoreboard in the bottom right-hand corner. I have such PTSD from doing football games throughout the season when good stuff happens. I legit thought somebody had thrown a flag, and I was about to lose my mind at that play. That's how bad the flag situations got in the NFL. Like I was lit, like my heart started beating a little bit more, like I was gonna get like a little angry. Oh God, they got a penalty problem in the NFL. I'll take a look at Drury though, Y2K. That's a great suggestion on that. I think that is he's that Sox guy. Hit up high on a 1-0 count, high up into the air, and Eugenio drifts under it and manages to get it. Nice job. 2 outs. Kirby's thrown 50 pitches for the game. Let's let him close out this 5th inning, Scott. You're only going to need then 4 innings out of your bullpen tonight. Wrap this sucker up. The delivery. Nice pitch. Inside part of the plate. Not going to do anything with it. Love how he's pitching the lefties tonight. He's getting that exploding 95 mile an hour 4-seam fastball, and he's putting it right in on the hands of those left-handed hitters. Not low, on the hands, belt high. And none of them can do anything with it. It's a great place to live as a pitcher, right or left-handed hitters. Those guys have a real tough time when that stuff starts getting on their hands. They don't like it. And boy, there's nothing better than when you get a ball hit off the handle of the bat, as opposed to the beefy business end. Seahawks 12th man says Russell Wilson's finger was gross. Why do you think I had to get drunk after that game on stream? It was that gnarly. Kirby is dealing. I think D-Boy Castillo's the front runner. If you were laying bets in Vegas right now, D-Boy, if you were like, I got $20 to lay a Vegas bet on who the Mariners trade for at the deadline, Castillo's probably he's your guy that you'd put your money on Red, on Cincinnati Red on that one. Kirby's dealing great. Just attack the zone. When you're Marco, you do have to play around the edges. You do got to get guys to swing and miss. You do got to try to, find your way, like I'm saying, get balls to guys hitting on the handle of the bat. But when you have this good of natural stuff like Kirby does, don't mess about. Don't mess about. Attack that zone. Doesn't mean that you pump fastball after fastball down the middle of the plate. You still mix up your pitches and everything else, but you don't get into a place where you start feeling like you've really got to be super careful around the edges like those other pitchers do who don't have that velocity and movement. Randall McDaniel says, would I trade Hancock and Kelnick for Castillo? Remind me, Randall, if you could look up real quick, what's Castillo's contract out? What's his club control situation right now? I need to know that. If this is just a rental, then no. But if we're getting him for a few years, then I might be more up in that. All right, Julio steps up to the plate. He's 1 for 2 with a home run to begin things off in this game. Strike one right down the middle of the plate. Boy, he put a good swing on that ball early in the game. Batted foul, right in on the hands. Good pitch by Denning. 29 and ARB 3 next year. O2 delivery, swing and miss by Julio, strike 3. 283 says he's an unrestricted free agent in 2024, so you're getting 2 years of club control to give up Hancock and Kelnick, Randall? No. I'll do Kelnick plus an A or Kelnick, you know. We can even maybe work in a major leaguer here. We got some guys. We'll give you Dylan Moore. I wouldn't do the Hancock Kelnick though for just 2 years of club control on Castillo. They're going to have to not expect that much for him. I'm going to give him a top of the rotation type starter, and then I'm going to give him a middle of the order hitter potentially there for 2 years of a upper level starting. Not starting, but upper level. 2-0 count here to Ty France with 1 out. Nice patience on his part. That was a rough at bat for Julio. Not a lot there was locked in there. He was kind of fooled on a couple of those pitches. Yeah, Toro can go too. Toro, Moore. It's really a trade of strength and numbers, really, if you think about it. It's about the totality of the haul. And I'm telling you something, man. Toro and Dylan Moore, Cincinnati, are some gritty players, okay? You can't measure grit, but they got a lot of it. A lot of moxie, you know? They're just good clubhouse guys. Really culture builder kind of people, you know what I mean? And that's got value in a trade, right? Right? A little bit. Ty France has drawn a 3-1 count here. Good patient approach here by Ty. Liking it. Delivery and hit. Oh, just missed it. I hit that thing. Swing and a miss. Dunning's done a very nice job of settling down here. He had the one rough inning, bases loaded. Things looked like they were going to turn in a hurry for him. And he has really done a much better job of just efficiently working, getting these Mariner hitters to swing and miss at pitches out of the zone. Take advantage of their aggressiveness. And then at times he's also spot some pitches really nicely that are borderline pitches that just, you're not doing anything with that. All right, so we've got Santana coming to the plate. Carlos has had a couple of really rough at-bats in this game. Some of it in his control, some of it out of his control. Dunning has pitched him very well, though. Right out the gate. Oh, Lordy, like I said with Santana, man, when it's going wrong, you just can't get a break. You know, when it's going bad, you just can't get anything to work in your favor. That ball was easily 2 to 3 inches below the zone, and the umpire called it a strike. You know, here's Santana using, again, just like, this is what will get you frustrated as a hitter now and start to, and he swings on now quickly into an 0-2 count. It's like things go backwards like that so fast or a hitter in a count. And it's not, you got to be better than that. You got to overcome it. It's just that when you're in the midst of this struggle and this, I can't get anything to go the right way. It's like, just give me one damn call, please. Just give me one call. All right, 0-2. Ty France on first. 1 man out. Hits it. It's falling. Center fielder's up there to make the play. 2 outs. Carlos again continues to have a little bit of a rough road. As I say, you know, it's if you're open to needing to upgrade some of these positions of these guys going out there right now, it's not going to be you go get a league average hitter, and it's going to be a monumental upgrade in some of these positions. And Kronos, we did just draft kind of a Dylan Moore kind of player. That's true. Hey, I'll package him in on the deal. If I can avoid moving some of the other guys that I know are a little more legitimately close to getting to the major league level, to move a guy like that we just thought. I always wonder why major league teams don't become more aggressive with their first round picks like that, even ones they just pick. That's a guy that's far out in their development, far out to the time that they're going to be able to reach the major league level. And if another team seems value in it, so be it. Randall says Castillo is 29, two-time All-Star, 3.65 career ERA. He's a horse. He is good. I might be selling him a little bit short, Randall. I just hate that 2 years thing. I mean, this is the same thing with Soto. It's the same bucket that we find ourselves stepping in by making a deal with Soto where you say, okay, I'm getting this guy for 2 years. I'm giving up this haul. But what happens in that 2 years? And if you're talking about him by that point being 31 years old, you're probably not going to want to be signing him to another contract. So you are really at that point just making that trade, as you know, going into it. Not like we'll hopefully talk him into taking a discount later on, I don't think. You're going into that trade saying, we're only getting 2 years out of this. I can't do it at that point. I just can't. Y2K says, do you guys want robo-strike umps? I was always against it, but many bad calls. I'm 100% for it. If we can, I wish we could do it in NFL, quite frankly. You know, if we remove the subjectivity, and baseball's not like football where there's a lot of subjectivity to calls. You can take a laser and pinpoint, understand whether or not a ball is in the zone or not in the zone when it crosses the plate. They can scientifically do that with ease at this point. And we got a pitch tracker showing us. So I'm very much in favor of it. There's nothing worse than having games decided because of a bad call. And yeah, there's enough of these umpires that, you know, they're getting knocked right and left. I think it's been harder for them to call balls and strikes because as these pitchers have gotten better, as more guys are throwing 99 with insane movement, it's that much harder for an umpire back there to make that call. People don't tend to talk about that. They just go, oh, ump bad. Angel Martinez needs to fry in hell. But really what they need to do is sit back and realize also part of this is that these umps are watching 101 miles an hour flying this way. Like it's a little harder. It's a little harder. But the laser in the sky don't lie. And I think it would be better for the sport. The umps are not a vital part of this game. You can still have the umps around the diamond, by the way. So you still have the guys calling there if you really want still the old tradition of it. All right, so Matt Festa is in the game here. He's pitched 26 innings this year, 39 strikeouts, 7 walks. It's worked really well here. 1-1 count early on. Kirby retired the final 9 batters he faced. Looked very comfortable. Very nice slider there. Just whipped right past the outside corner. Great pitch. Great pitch there. Boy, that was sweet. That's just how you'd like to do it. Hitter will never swing at that. You'll get a nice easy strike every time. I might come back with that same pitch. I'd come back with that same pitch or bury a fastball outside 2-3 inches and see if I can get him to swing it, thinking it's going to be a slider. They indeed, I think that he wanted him to go up a little bit higher in the zone. And he missed a little low, but he knocked it foul. They did pull Kirby. What the F? 50 pitches, man. They said the 50 pitches could be the count. So it's just, they said that's good. And I'm okay with it. You got the kid the dub. It's on the bullpen now. You know. Spectre 7 says, I would happily welcome our robo-ump overloads. I would too. Slider way inside, 2-2. Randall says, I think Kirby is better as a rookie than Gilbert was. From what I read, he's looked at as the real jewel between he, Logan, and Hancock. That's as I understand it, the case as well. Beautiful slider goes right over the middle of the plate, but again, that you could just tell earlier in that bat that Texas hitter just had no feel for that slider on that at bat. He definitely just too much movement. Too much movement. Nice job by Festa to get the first strike out of this inning. Good job. Let's hold this up for Kirby. I agree with that, though, Randall. He does. And he's got more, Gilbert's just got the 2 pitches. I think, Gilbert had like a 4.5 ERA in his first year or something like that, and Gilbert's got his down to like 3.5. So, yeah, I don't have as much word on Hancock quite yet with that, Randall, but I certainly do think that Logan Gilbert's fashioning himself up into a top of the rotation starter. To me, at the very minimum, he's like elite 2, but probably at least a soft 1, if you really want to designate it that. And then you have maybe a hard 1 with Kirby. So again, we start to get excited about this team, not just in the short term, but the long term. It's like, oh, I got kind of my 2 aces to begin things at the top of the rotation, and then Hancock's coming in, so that's 3. So I got to just figure out the 2 back end points. Yeah. And the 2 back end points are the easiest to add in a rotation. Yeah. And you do the same thing when you get out into the field. 1-2 count here, 2-2 on a slider, just misses a little bit low. A lot of reason for optimism with this team in the long future for how they're building this and how it will come together. Festa gets set. 2-2 delivery. Ooh, right at the top of the zone for a ball. Did look like a ball to me. That was good. Good call there by the ump. Randall says, I'd almost rather trade for Castillo than Soto. Cost would be less, and it's a real position of need. Agreed. Marcus Semien fouls off 3-2 pitch there. Agreed. I've come around, Randall, to believing that the best thing for this team at this point is a starting pitcher. And Castillo very well could be the best starting pitcher available to us, or the most feasible to be able to add for, like you pointed out. Though it would be costly, it would be prohibitive, Swing and a miss. Nice another slider, just like you got the last batter. A lot of movement on that slider tonight with Festa. A lot of rotation, a lot of spin, a lot of movement. Really, really live coming off his arm right now. And the Ranger batters just don't have much they can do with it. Well, I'm kind of starting to get out on Soto, Randall. Looking at the cost and all that. First pitch up high here. We got 2 outs. Festa's been pretty good against both righties and lefties this year. Slider gets it up a little high, but he can only foul it off. 1-1 on Corey Seager. It's a dangerous pitch right there on one of the guys in this lineup that can hurt you. A little worrisome there on that one. So we got 1-1. Knocked high up into the air, drifting back. Winker jumps and makes the play. Get it, Big Jesse. Hobbling back there on his little peg leg. You can hear it clickety-clacking as he's running out in the outfield. And he only has about a 13-inch vertical leap, but he commanded every inch of that 13 inches, leaped into the air, crashed into the wall, made the catch, came up hobbled. But he said, F my ankle, this is for the team. This is for my team. Great play. Festa gets through the inning. The top of the 6 is closed up. D-Boy says, Brandon, how do you feel about JP? He's my favorite player, but most people I talk to, they love him or hate him. No middle ground. Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. I think I've kind of seen somewhat of the same thing with that a little bit. I'm not a love him and I'm not a hate him guy, so I'll say that, D-Boy. I think he's a very solid player, and I think that, maybe there's an unrealized thought process that goes on in people and how they look at their team and how they want it built, where they go, well, let's get stars everywhere. We'll have a whole team of stars. But indeed, that's not what you really need. You do need stars. You need top-end talent. But you also need the better-than-average guys. It's like when we talk about in the football channel, D-Boy, about finding those guys that, okay, maybe he's not a Pro Bowler, but maybe he's also not a league average player. What if he's in this stock that's somewhere in between? When I look at Crawford, he gives you a borderline Gold Glove play from the shortstop position, which is important. As I say, this team needs to play defense. So now he's a quantitative aspect of that, along with the other guys that you have out there that play good defense for this team. And then with the bat, I think he comes up as a professional hitter in this lineup, D-Boy, and there's some hitters in this lineup that don't always come up to the plate with a professional approach. He can fight off pitches. He can work a count. He doesn't draw a ton of walks, which is why I don't like having Crawford up at the leadoff spot. But I think if you're talking about putting him in the 2, I really do like that combination, especially when you can go lefty, righty, where you've got Julio top, then you go lefty Crawford, then you go righty back to France. And then ideally, you'd have a lefty back there. Ideally you would be able to put Winker back there. It's kind of Suarez or Santana. Now it's not. They don't really have it as much fixed behind those guys. But I like him. And I'm happy with the contract that they gave him on the extension right around the end of spring training. I thought he's earned it. And I think he's going to be a good piece here. Might also help us in his ability to be here in the long term, D-Boy, and the fact that you may be able to now utilize Marte, who's really one of your hot prospects that was your first guys last year. You might be able to utilize him now in a trade because of having Crawford able to hold it down there over at shortstop. So I do overall very much like him. I just think we got to, not expect him to be a star, just to be a really good player. And Eugenio Suarez takes the first pitch, fastball inside. Eugenio hitting .238 on the year. Fastball inside, same place, challenges him. Another swing and a miss, 0-2. Put it in the same spot. Dunning is out now. The Rangers have put Moore out on the mound. Lefty. Swing and a miss. Looked like a big curve ball there. Knuckle curve. Wow, everybody's throwing the knuckle curve. The curve ain't nothing no more. The knuckle curve's where it's at. It's hot. Knuckle curve's hot. We're showing that play by Winker. Great play there. Hope that foot's okay. Y2K says, when Baroki, or however you say it, pitched 2 scoreless innings in extras versus old team, the Blue Jays, man, that was awesome. And he has been great for us. He has indeed. Our bullpen's been money. Our bullpen and defense have been just super consistent. All right, 1-0 here to Jesse Winker. Swing and a miss. Knuckle curve ball there. Knuckle curve is tough on those lefty-lefty matchups. Randall says, I'll take the robot umps a step further. We should look at having computers replace jurors and judges, use algorithm based on the laws in past cases to come up with rulings. I don't know about that. Computers can be hacked. Algorithms can be hacked. It's so easy to inject code into those programs, Randall. It's so easy for just something to be corrupted. How about Tariq Schoolbowl? He's a starting pitcher for the Tigers. He's 25 and has 4 years of club control. I haven't watched a ton of him, 283, but that'd be right. I'd be much happier finding a starting pitcher that's got a little bit more of that club control aspect to him in the long term, rather than just getting the guy that's the short term. If we were more like top of and Winker knocks in the ground there for an easy play to second, and that'll be 3 outs. But if we were just maybe a little closer in being a lead at this point, or we're at the top of the division, I might be more of I'll make the short-term move for the long-term pain. Take a little long-term pain here, but I think that there's something to be said for being, again, fairly conservative in our approach with this. As, I think this is a good team. I think this will remain a good team this year. And Lewis can't check his swing. 0-1 on the first pitch. But I'll take a look at Tariq too, man. 283. We'll look at these pitchers and see where they're at. Maybe I'll do a little video on the channel for it. Lewis swings 0-2. Foul. Steve Cottrell says they pulled Kirby. What the F? He was on a pitch count, Steven. So he was not. 50 pitches was what he was set for. But he does get the W. Randall says, I'd almost rather trade for Castillo than Soto. Cost would be less in its real position of need. Oh, I think I read that. And I agree with you. Y2K. Minority Report. Exactly. 0-2 pitch here to Kyle. Knocked up high in the air. Center fielder is under it. Easy play. That will be 3. The Rangers have done a good job of keeping this Maryland lineup held in check after some early trouble. 2-0. Randall had to work in the movie, so Minority Report was based, I think, on an old Isaac Asimov book or something like that, one of those sci-fi writers, and it's pre-crime, so it's psychics predicting crime, and then they come to find that the process has been corrupted or whatever. Kind of exactly like what I'm talking about. Seahawks 12th man, our pitching rotation is unbelievable. We need to get better. It is unbelievable right now. All our pitchers are kind of unbelievable at the moment, quite frankly. Bad swing by Suarez. He's good for like 5 of those a game at least. Even when he's hitting the ball with good contact. He has been a little down more often than not though since we're back off the All-Star break. And I think Seahawks 12th man, we're more likely to add a starting rotation player at this point than a hitter in this lineup before the trade deadline, which, by the way, is coming up. I think it's August 3rd. So we're going to know within a week whether or not this team's going to be able to add something else to it. Snake Eyes says, hello, I'm Snake Eyes. Well, hello, Snake Eyes. Good to see you in the chat. Debo says, what's my favorite 3 pitches? My favorite 3 pitches would be, I love the curveball because it was so much fun to throw, D-Boy. There's nothing like throwing a pitch where you're starting a pitch way up outside and you're bringing it down right over the back of the plate. And it's just like you're swinging it down at just the right moment over the back of the plate. And you can just see the hitter just kind of their shoulders slump because, again, there's nothing they're going to do with that. They have to basically decide they're going to swing at that before that ball is anywhere close to where it's going to end up in the zone. And it's just a fun pitch for me to throw. If you're talking about Major League Baseball wise, like what's the best for pitchers to throw, I think that, having a great fastball would be the most important thing of anything for a pitcher, first off, D-Boy. So I'm not going to answer the question, though, with fastball because that's lame. And that's not what the spirit of your question's at. All right, Festa's back out on the hill for a second inning here. Jonah Heim up at the plate, takes ball 1. So probably it would be, fastball, slider. Fastball, slider. Slider there gets him to miss on that, 1-1. They don't throw it anymore because I think of injuries, D-Boy. But the split finger was pretty nasty back in the day. And I think that's why, because it was a pitch that you had to throw where you literally split your fingers apart like this as you threw it. So it put a lot of stress on the tendons that went to these 2 fingers and caused guys problems. But you would snap it and it would come off like a fastball and then it just dives the last minute. So even if a hitter gets solid contact on it, it's still just going to be batted down into the infield. I like sinkers in addition with the split fingers for that very reason, that it's a pitch that when the hitter does hit, he's thinking he's usually going to swing at it because it's sinking. And that ball is hard hit, but right at Frazier, who's playing to the shift, and that would be an out. Because it's sinking, the hitter's going to always swing just a little over the top of it, where even if he's on it, he's hitting the ball on the top side of the ball as opposed to underneath the ball where you're actually going to get lift on the ball. So when that sink comes, he goes, I'm going to swing, and my swing rate's going to be here, but the ball ends up here when he swings, and you knock it down the ground. And to me in baseball, if you're able to prevent hitters from lifting the ball up into the air, especially with the feast, famine, power, walk, strikeout approach of modern hitters, having a sinker, split finger, that type of thing is very beneficial for that. I do like the changeups, but boy, when the hitter guesses right on the changeups, it's your ass. if he's gearing up for it and you throw it, you're in some trouble. 0-1 count here now. Ball's hit high into the air. This has got some lift. It's going to make it into the gap. Julio's got a line on it, and he's going to get this ball into the infield here for a stand-up double. All right. It's getting a little tricky now. A little tricky. Good piece of hit, and they're just taking it the other way to the gap. Randall McDaniel says, I think Marte is going to be a star, a shade below Julio because of the defense, but he is going to rake. Very much so. And you might eventually, I mean, as we've talked about Randall, you know, they could eventually move him just to third base in the name of that, where if it's marginal shortstop, then move him to third, and now he suddenly becomes kind of a plus glove at third rather than a marginal short. And that will be all for Festa. Service is going to go out and make a move right now. Randall says computers can be hacked, humans can be bribed. It's very true. It's very true. Steve Cottrell says, can these bats wake the F up? Seriously, this offense is so boring. They have their moments where they languish, don't they? They're like a guy tossing and turning in the bed who can't sleep. They just can't quite find, just kind of scuttling a little bit. Y2K says they keep saying this is the year of sliders. Yeah, it's because it works so well off the fastball. You can't pick up like the curveball. So let me get in the range of the thing. You know, in the curveball, you're coming down over the top with it. And so when you as a hitter see those fingers come down over the top and it's like this, as opposed to just coming out of your hand like this, if you're a really good hitter, you can kind of see it slide weird off the fingers. Even if you can't get really locked into where it is, you can kind of generally see. The slider comes off the hand looking just like a fastball, but then it's got that, rather than the 10-6, it's got that sideways sharp movement to it that the hitter's usually going to be late to recognize. Then the hitter's late to recognize it, and by that point he starts panicking, and that's why you get some of those feeble swings on those sliders, because the hitter's been probably locked in pre-pitch on a fastball, thought it was a fastball, thought he had guessed right, and then it's an oh hell middle of the pitch. I didn't guess right. It's my butt. But I like Marte too, Randall. I think he's going to have I think his stick is going to be legitimate. And I'm not saying I'm giving him up for nothing. You know, if I do move on from him, it's that I want him as a centerpiece of a deal, and he's got to carry a lot of weight in that deal if we're talking about moving him. Spectre 7 says, I love having at least one team we can own in this division. If we could make it at least the Angels and the Rangers, if we could make it 2, that'd be even better. 283-128 says, I know you love conspiracy theories. The JFK assassination, how many gunmen do you think there were? There were, my belief is that there were 3 gunmen in total. There was indeed a person in the library, though I don't think it was Oswald. And I think there was somebody on the grassy knoll, and then I think there was somebody in the sewer. And the gunman in the sewer was the reason that you have the ricochet shot that occurs. But I think it was 3. And I have some very specific ideas of who those 3 guys were, by the way, including Woody Harrelson's dad, funny enough. That ball is going to fall in, and that is going to allow the runner to score. We got ourselves a game here, Baroki. Somebody jinxed Baroki in the chat. He came in and gave up a little lazy fly single there. Not his fault. Batter just kind of put the bat on the ball. Got it up a little bit high there, but it was right on the inside portion of the plate. Fought it off his hands. Just good things happen when you put the ball in play. Something I'd love to tell these guys. They just love striking out all the time with their crazy swings. Funny enough, you guys want to, with the JFK thing, is that everyone gets caught up on the Zapruder tape, and they get all stuck up on that, going, "Oh, this is the smoking gun with it," and it's indeed important. It's an important part of proving the case that there was another gunman. But there's actually another piece of video from that day that's equally as important, if not more so. And so the Rangers are 1-0 here with Baruki, runner on first. Leota Taveras, who has played the Mariners pretty tough here so far to start out this series, gets up to the plate. Baruki comes set. 1-0 count. A little low, 2-0. Baruki trying to be a little careful here. It's not your fault, buddy. Ball got shaved off the end of the bat. Remain aggressive here. But don't give him something too fat, 2-0. Don't go too fatty, 2-0. Tabaris locking in here, taking his time. Baruki gets set. The line to delivery. Ooh, looked like he got the outside corner, but the ump ain't giving it to him. 3-0. Jeez Louise. So we got 3-0 here. It's top of the 7th inning. 1 man out. Runner on first. See if we can get this in the zone. He shows bunt, pulls it back, takes a strike, 3-1. I was mentioning, though, the important video to watch is the one where JFK is getting off of the airplane in Dallas, and his Secret Servicemen get on his car, and then the Secret Servicemen are called off by the lead Secret Serviceman to get off of his car and open up the line of sight angle for a shot, thusly. And that video you can find on YouTube. Throw it up outside, just off the plate, and that will be ball 4. We got runners on first and second. But Nitro Hawk, that's my favorite conspiracy theory as far as I can pretty quickly and easily prove that one through a variety of different means. And in fact, it's kind of funny with the JFK conspiracy that you don't really have to prove it. That's the fun part about this. Because everybody goes, well, the official answer is this. No, it's not. The official answer is not the report that came out on JFK that was a cooked investigation from start to finish from the mouths of the men that conducted the investigation themselves. In 1978, there was a congressional meeting, and it was determined that there was indeed, hold your pearls, a conspiracy. The United States Congress determined that there was in 1978 a conspiracy. They just couldn't say who it was. So that's the funnest one to me because they literally got away with taking out a president and no one got captured. Sleep well. Robo-umps now, says Vector 7. Alex says, how good will the Mariners be with Mitch Haniger? Well, I think he'll be pretty doggone good. Let me get through just this inning on that. I've got a kind of a long-winded answer on that one. Oh, well, he got the benefit of the doubt on that call. That was 2 inches inside, and he got a strike call there. Come on now. We need a ground ball here. Like that one, ump's having a little bit of a tough time now. Ump's getting a little bit sleepy. It's 9 o'clock for the ump. He's tired. He's a little sleepy. The line, the delivery, knocked back. 0-2. So with Alex, with that answer on that, it's whenever you look at Mitch's stats, when you see him play on the field, when he gets on the field, he's pretty good. Not that he's a star, but he's an upper level player in this league when he's kind of rolling, at least with his bat. And when you look at left field, and not just Jesse Winker, but when you put Dylan Moore out there or Toro or anybody that you really put out in left field, you're getting, you're getting 230 with marginal power. That ball's hit up into the air, skied. Right fielder's underneath, and he's got it, Lewis. Lewis playing the field tonight out of right field. Good to see. And that will be the second out. Nice job by Baroki there. So let's, so Alex, you got your baseline for the year. Up until this year, 90 games in, 60% of the way through your season. Your baseline is that the position's hitting, let's call it 230 with a total of 10 home runs on the season with all of the guys that have hit there. Now you add a guy who over the course of the year will hit 280 with 20 home runs. So you're getting 40 to 50%, 40 to 50 points better as far as the batting average goes. You're going to get marginally more power than the marginal power that you've gotten so far. And Scott Service is indeed going to go back to the pen to get this final out. Scott feeling like this is a very important inning to stay out of trouble in. Interesting on his part, playing some matchups here. He's being as active in the 5 days of streaming here straight that we've done. This is as active as I've seen him kind of come out there and manage the game. So we'll see if this pays out for him. It's been okay here so far. So that's, Alex, where I think you get your bump, right? It's not that Haniger comes back and hits 300. If he can just hit around what his baseball card says, it will be a huge step forward from what you're getting from that position right now, which is very close to a black hole. I mean, let's just look just tonight, for instance, right? I'm not going to go grab some random night to illustrate my point. Let's just pick right now tonight. So we got Jesse Winker out of left field. 0 for 2, and he's drawn a walk. He's hitting .227 on the year. He's got, 8 home runs? That's it's not hard to beat that out. And if you talk about doing well more than just beating that out, but now to actually, you go from having a minus bat in the lineup to having a plus bat in the lineup from the left field position, I think that can have a great effect on this team. You can just see at times we just need this little more eking out of offense than we're getting. We're just relying on these few guys to get just enough out while everybody else just sort of kind of drowns beneath the water every game. Just need a little bit more. Y2K says Jesse Winker has a 1 out of 10 for outfield jump on StatCast. Mitch Haniger is much higher than that and faster and stronger arm. Yeah, he probably plays better than Winker out there. Winker doesn't have any arm and doesn't have any. He doesn't cover much ground either out there. Y2K. Say nothing in the fact that Haniger coming back. If Winker's got this issue with his ankle where he's looking a little gimpy there, that could help him out too. Randy says weird scenes inside the canyon is the name of a book on it. On JFK? I'm trying to think of a fun answer for you on the conspiracy one that would be outside. All right, here's the fun one that just in the insane one is the Antarctic one, that the Nazis escaped to Antarctica, and they have a base there, and that they have like a that one's just like insane. That one's like oh my god, like we had an Admiral Byrd go there and stuff. That one's just whoa. All right, first pitch swinging, hit up in the air into right field. Kind of anticlimactic, but it gets the job done. Murphy comes in with his sidearm delivery and takes care of business. Nice job by Scott Service there in his management of the bullpen. You got a 2-1 game here. You got to play it a little closer to the vest. 2 more innings. 283 says 128 says I'm getting into conspiracy theories. Got any cool recommendations? I do always say start out with the basics first. Because the deeper into the weeds you get into the conspiracy theories, the more they become theories, more than they become more hardened. This is what it is, So you go into Kennedy, you can go into 9/11s, you can go into, the Spanish American War in 1893. Like we blew up our own ship there. Look at how false flag attacks have pushed governments forward, not just in the United States, but in other places as well. House of Knives with the Germans. Those kind of situations that occur. So look into that, and you'll see a kind of a common strain. And then begin to notice as well how things connect, not simply over the last 20, 30-year period of these theories, but over a much longer period of that when you go further and further back and pull on the thread that much more. And stay out of the magic stuff. And there's no such thing as white magic. So all of that is bad. And the stuff will take you in that direction of things when you eventually get down further enough down the rabbit hole. Stay away. Always remember, when you look up into the abyss for too long, monsters in the abyss look back. All right, so we got 2-1. Mariners up on the Rangers here. Both teams have only been able to manage 4 hits in this ball game. See, the Mariners can do a little bit like what they did last night. Little tack on, little manufacturing. Moving guys over, sack fly. An extra run here you'd have to feel like in this game would be huge. Sector 7 says, doubt I can say or should say much about it, but Israel saying one of our own warships because they overheard the conflict of them killing civilians. A lot of stuff happens like that. You know, you always go back to Sector 7, the common phrase, and Crawford steps to the plate with a 1-0 count. History is written by the winners, and it truly, certainly is. 1-0, Crawford swinging 1-0. He's got a big swing there, Crawford, looking like he's kind of trying to put one up on the board on his own here. Okay, JP. Okay. 1-1. And the Rangers playing lefty-lefty matchup to begin things here. Knocked up the middle. Rangers got a shift over there. They're ready for it. One away. Tough by the offense tonight. A little bit of a tough deal. But Victor, I know that situation that you speak of. And you know, it's again common occurrence. History does repeat itself, especially when it's being guided to do so. All right, Cal Raleigh steps up to the plate. Let's see if we can have a little more luck tonight with the right-handed bat than the left-handed bat, which he's kind of struggled in tonight a little bit. Cal comes up there. Looks a little more comfortable from the left side, doesn't he? The open stance there. Look, it's comfortable. Well, I look comfortable on that one. Sends it for a ride. That ball's going back to the wall. Back. That thing's going to find the second deck of left field, folks. He tells you, shut your mouth, Brandon. I hit from the right side just fine. Shut your dirty mouth. And I will. That was beautiful. Got a fastball at the top of the zone, caught up to it, and he just parked that pitch. 400 feet. It looked like it went further. Just a moonshot. Nice, easy swing. Guess it didn't quite get to second deck, but boy, that thing was deep back into the bullpen there where it fell. What a shot. Nice job, Cal. That's what we needed. Room for error. There we go. I see you, Cal. I've said it to you guys before. If the future, what he's going to be at his top end final form with Cal Raleigh, and Frazier's in a 1-1 count here, is that we're getting great catching from behind the dish. You know, like top 5, top 6, top 7 level of defensive play behind the dish from the catcher position. And he gives you like a kind of power from the catcher position as opposed to his contemporaries. I am going to be just like what D-Boy, you were asking about JP Crawford. It's a little bit the same way. It's like, it's not a perfect player, but that's going to be I can put that together with the rest of my lineup. I can make that work with everything else. And Frazier swings at a ball in the dirt there, so it's 1-2 now. Frazier just looks like a little guy. He looks like one of those guys like 5'6". He looks Altuve size. Nice job. Stop talking. I can start talking more trash. Every time I talk trash on these guys, they get a base hit. Frazier with a nice base hit behind the count. Doesn't try to do too much with it. Just knocks it right back up the middle. Good piece of hitting on his part. Raleigh. 283-128 big dumper on Cal. And that's how those catchers, they're all built with like that a little bit. Big Country, he says he's going to be a hell of a power hitter. I agree, man. I see a guy that consistently for a few-year period hits you 30, 35 home runs a year. Maybe he hits you only 240, 250 in that time. Maybe even gets up to 260. But that's with all that else that he brings, I'm fine with that. All right, Julio up to the plate now. Frazier on first. Julio with a big swing on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball at the top of the zone and just right over the top of it. Julio looking to raleigh it on that one. He was looking to give it that rally ride. Oh, 1 here. Outside of his home run to begin things here, Julio's been behind in some counts here today. Strike 2. Got him, it looks like, on that. Is that the knuckle curve everyone's throwing now? Yeah, knuckle curve. Oh, change up on that one. Got him with a change. All right, Julio. You know you're getting movement here. Down in the zone. Looks like he held up. Umpire at first base says no, he didn't. Needs to get his head out of his butt or get a pair of glasses. Looked like he held up to me. That had to hurt Julio with that wrist, too. Trying to do that. Yeah, maybe it went a little too far. I bet he just had a hard time holding that up. It's close. It's close. It's on the borderline. Y2 cases as a kid, a good hit, ground ball up the middle, like always a hit. This is no longer the day. It's true. It's true. Everybody's trying to, pull it and be powerful. Ty France up at the plate now. Gets a knuckle curve at the top of the zone. Just misses. Good eye there by France. France hitting .310 on the season with 13 home runs and 51 RBIs. He is 0 for 2 today with a walk. Coming off a great performance last night. 3 for 3. Hit by pitch. Oh, I see the bread you guys are talking about. They're still working that bread. Working the bread deep into the bottom of the 7th, folks. A lot of carbs in the crowd tonight. France swung at that pitch, so it's 1-1. Outside. Cal, love this guy, says Y2. I do too. D-Boy says, Brandon, Cal just told you to let him do his job and you do yours. That being the #1 Seattle fan YouTube streamer. That's for sure, man. That is for sure he did. Said, I heard you. He gave a little point to the camera as he was rounding third base. Oof. Brutal swing by France there on that one. He was very fooled. Ended up doing a little spin. He swung so badly there. Whenever Cal has like a bad swing, he always just kind of fists up and like locks his body up a bit. You can just see him just kind of yelling at himself in his head. 1-2 now. That ball's hit out into right field. Should be an easy play, and that will retire the side. Well, Cal Raleigh. Let's the big boy, big bat ride. Let's the big dog hunt. And plays tack on here for our Mariners as we get into the 8th, 9th inning here. Hopefully our team can close this door shut. Kind of you to say on that, though, D-Boy, by the way. Y2K says, Frazier's StatCast is the funniest thing you've ever seen. I bet. He's up and down for me a bit. He's been coming on at times, and he had 11-game hitting streak here recently, so that might be I think that was just broken yesterday, but he's been okay. He's not been like Dylan Moore, Toro bad. Not been that bad. Demi baguette, French baguette. That's right, the French baguette bread. It's good bread. Some good ass bread. All right. Just like last night. This is how we do. This is what we do. Oh, you pretty teams like to go hit your home runs? You go hit your home runs. You go do that. You enjoy yourself. We play real baseball here in Seattle, okay? All you guys looking for your shortcut home runs, all or nothing. And yeah, we have a couple home runs tonight. But now we play to our defense and our bullpen. That's what we do. That's how we win games. Okay? So let's watch what happens. We got Paul Sewall coming out from the bullpen, our stopper. Hopefully Castillo cannot sweat as much in the 9th inning when we need him like he was last night. Man was looking like, I don't know what he's looking like. He's looking like hopped up on something. My goodness. A little less coffee for Castillo tonight when he comes in. Looks like Sewall's coming in the 8th. Odd. I would have maybe had him go more 9th. A little steadier there for me, but I can't argue with service. He's been pretty money right now in using this bullpen. He knows how to do it. He knows how to use a bullpen. I will say that. And you are going to be facing here Viloria, Seaman, and Seager. And then you get the middle of the lineup in the 9th. So no easy task here for our Mariner relievers. First pitch, ball inside by Sewall. Backs him off the plate a bit. That was a big home run by Cal. That extra run like we saw last night. Having a little wiggle room there can be so huge for the bullpens. Fastball right down the middle of the plate. And catcher's taken there. No surprise there. You knew he wasn't going to wait. He was going to at least wait for a first pitch fastball. Ninth hitter in the lineup, guy hitting a $160. Paul, 37 innings this year of work, 44 strikeouts, 9 walks. It's a good job of coming in and going after hitters. And he's quickly got the catcher here in a 1-2 count. Yeah, you do get him through the heat of the order here. I mean, I think this 3 is going to be a tougher 3 than what he gets next inning than what, especially with Seager there, you know. Your fear is that you get Simeon on and then Seager comes up and then he ties the game. He's already hit one at the wall in this game. So I'm sure Service is thinking a little bit about that. All right, 1-2 pitch here to Valoria. Little bit high. 93-mile-an-hour fastball, top of the zone, 2-2. D-Boy says, Brandon, who do you like better, Tom or Cal? I like Cal. I'm a Cal guy. All the way, all day. Here's the wine, the delivery outside, 3-2. I like me. Cal's the upside. Tom is kind of what he is right now, you know, D-Boy. I think Cal's, we don't really know where he's going to finish out at. I think I know what his final state will take, but it might be even better than that. And boy, is he really coming along this year. Started out rough, really coming along now. Swing and a miss on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball on the black. Outside part of the plate, bound belt high. Nice job by Paul there. Very nice job. Valoria was way behind that pitch. Way behind. Sector 7, we got it easy. Seawald in the bump. I feel confident when Paul's in there. Y2K traded for D. Bard. He's like over 35 with 20 saves and an ERA of 2 for the Rockies. They will be sellers. Thoughts? I don't really feel like the bullpen's in much of a need of help right now. First pitch swinging and hit on a line. Crawford gets down on a knee, shows off that defensive prowess and picks it. Beautiful play by Crawford. Fast reactions there. Cat-like quickness, you could say. He roped that ball. Crawford right on it. Nice play. Not tremendously hard, but good play nonetheless. Good positioning. 2 outs here in the 8th now. And here comes the guy that really does scare you in this lineup right at the moment. That's Corey Seager, not only because of his talent, but because of the brotherly revenge that you know he would like to enact for how he probably feels the team did his brother. There was always a little animosity there. Seattle is employing the Uber shift, where France is basically hugging the line, pumping the line, you could say. Frazier's out in right field. Crawford's just past the bag at second base, and Eugenio is damn near playing behind the bag at second. 0-1 delivery here to Seager. Outside for a ball. So Y2K, I don't know if I'd looking at bullpen as a position I need to add right now. I think this bullpen is held up pretty well. I think we even have somebody coming back to add to. So I really more targeted on that starting pitching than anything else. Another slider gets kind of away from Seawald there outside, 2-1. So I probably wouldn't. I think not a reliever at this point. I go starting pitcher and then a hitter somewhere in this lineup. 2-1. Seager's got a very odd-looking kind of stance. Gets a good swing on that, but just batters it back. Kind of barely misses it there. He gets pigeon-toed, and his shoulders get very much kind of feels like he's drawing his shoulders into his body. And he was all over that bitch. All over that pitch. Thank you, D-Boy, for reminding me of that, too. If you do like what you're listening to here on this live stream, please do hit that like button for me. It does help this channel out. All right, 2 outs now. Or not 2 outs, but 2-2. Sorry. on Corey here. And that will be a ball for 3-2. All right. Paul, let's not put, you got 2 outs. Don't put the first runner on. I would still pitch careful here, though. Let's not, because you could easily see Corey loading up here, right? And Corey batters back a fastball. The way he's been on it a little bit in this at bat, and Corey's seeing Paul pretty good. I'm careful here if I'm Paul. I know you don't want to put the tying runner on. And he goes up high. Indeed, he is a little careful with him there, drawing the walk. Pitch was kind of nowhere near close to the zone. I think Paul just thinks there, I'll take my chances with 2 outs. I'll take my chances with Jonah Heim over Corey Seager. And I would too. 283 says, I think we should do a Trout-Toro swap, and if it's necessary, we can throw in Torrens. That's what I'm saying, man. We just go Toro, Torrens, Dylan Moore, and and who else? Who else? Trammell. I'm telling you, Angels, strength in numbers. You guys need a lot of pieces, not just one. Jonah Heim up now. Runner on first. Ooh, Paul getting a little wild. Cal, that one kind of freaked Cal Raleigh out. He's coming out to talk to Paul a little bit here. Okay, settle down. Settle down, Paulie. Settle down. Crawford coming in as well. He badly missed on that throw. Get yourself set. Okay? Let's just chill out now. You got this. Kronos, if we can get a number 2-3 starter or 2 and an above average second baseman, that's what we are missing, I feel. 100% agree. That would be a dream scenario to be able to add those 2 positions as far as an upgrade goes, especially if you don't have to significantly dip into your farm system in order to make it happen. Similar trade, kind of equivalent-wise to what you did with Winker and Eugenio at the start of the year. 1-0 count here now on Jonah, and another pitch far outside, same place as the last one. I mean, we're talking, folks, this is a good 2 feet outside. Seawalt rubbing his hand on his jersey, rubbing the ball up a little bit, digging his foot into the bump. It's kind of looking a little uncomfortable at the moment all of a sudden. Takes a deep breath, eyes into Cal. Cal points at him with the glove, gives him the keep it low, buddy. Keep it low signal. 2-0. Here's the delivery. Paul locks in, and he's a little closer to the plate, but it is still a ball. That will draw us to 3-0. Garcia on deck. All right, well, you know he's probably taking, I don't know if he's taking here. Middle of the order hitter. This is probably where you're swinging. D-Boy says, wait, did I miss something? What did the M's do to Seager? There's a little bit of animosity between his brother and the organization. I can't make much of it, but there seemed like he was a guy in the clubhouse who made a lot of noise when he was in there on behalf of, quote-unquote, the players. And it wore management out, and so management didn't quite give him as much like the send-off of care that you would for a player that played his whole career in one place. And that pitch is up at the top zone. That's going to miss, so 4 balls, that's a walk. Runners on first and second now. Let's see if Paul can work his way out of trouble here a little bit. Service licking his lips. Going, come on, Paul. Make him at least earn it. So there was a little bit of that, D-Boy. It wasn't anything that was insane, but it was a little bit of, it was talked about. It was discussed at the time. So Adolis Garcia comes up hitting .249 with 18 home runs. Garcia's 1 for 3 in this game with a double. Rangers will pinch hit over there at first base. Seawald comes set. The wind, the delivery. Fastball right down there at the knees. Nice pitch. Strike 1. Sector 7 says he had a great long interview on YouTube. Wish I remember the channel name. Was very good listen on Seawald. I'll try to see if I can find him, man. He does seem like a pretty articulate guy. All right, the delivery 0-1. Ooh, nice little slider gets Garcia to swing wildly at it. That slider was far off the plate, but it just had some insane movement on it. That pitch starts from a positioning standpoint at Garcia's basically feet from a parallel standpoint and ends up about 3 feet off the plate. 0-2 delivery now. Banged fair to the right side. I don't know what just happened, but I think multiple guys just scored. 3-3. God, that was a horrible job by the telecast to get the camera angle. They hit it, and the telecast decided that it was foul, so they didn't show us what had happened. So I still don't know what exactly happened there, other than I'm guessing the Mariners had some kind of shift on there. It's a good pitch. He didn't hit it hard. Yeah, you got a shift going. This is, again, I talked about at the start, and just a weird play where the ball hits foul, but then the spin of it takes it back into fair territory. It takes a crazy spin. Like it hits on the outside of the foul and then bounces back across the left side of the deal. And Raleigh just missed getting the tag down, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like he's safe. That looks safe to me. It looks like his foot gets just in on the white there. That's a great slide by Culberson. The decision to come in and bring in the pinch runner pays off for him. But yeah, he touches it right before Raleigh gets to him. This is a thing we were talking about where, the shift goes away next year. And as I said earlier in this telecast, everyone's telling me, well, not everyone, but I heard a lot of people saying that, well, this means the runnings are going to go up, that you're going to get more hitting. And here's a case where if you don't have a shift and the first baseman's playing his natural position, that's an easy double play, or at least an easy out. But because you have the shift, you've created a situation where the guy basically he blows the ball to the first base side, and it's a base hit. And the umpires are reviewing this right now, but I do believe that this call will stand, and he is indeed safe. Y2K says, I know Dipoto and Seager wouldn't talk to each other, and he hated Seager's contract is the word on the street. Yeah, that's what I was hearing too. That ball was so oddly hit. Yeah, I mean, we can't knock Seawald there. I mean, the guy didn't put a strong swing on it. Yeah, he gave up the walks, which sucks, and that's definitely on him there. But, I mean, that was a good pitch. The guy just barely, found a way to fight it off to keep it in play. And another common refrain you hear from me on this channel of why I will lament strikeouts even in this modern age is you put the bat on the ball and good things tend to happen. And it doesn't always have to be a hard swing. Just get the bat on the ball rather than swinging through it, like we get with guys like Suarez and his miss rate on his swing. And we're now 2-0 to Nathaniel Lowe here with Seawald. 2 outs. Malone working in the bullpen. Swanson working in the bullpen. This ball hit high and out of play. Y2K Seawald pulling to Castillo. Yeah, just a little off today. A little uncomfortable, kind of like Castillo was. Just doesn't look kind of quite. You can kind of feel when the guy's kind of locked in. He's feeling flowing. Everything's going. But you can kind of see him trying to figure where he's at here. And Seawald will bounce back. Just unlucky. As Big Country said, that was unlucky. That spin was insane. This ball hit up out of play. We got a 2-2 count now. Seahawks 12 man. Should we trade Abraham Toro for Pablo Lopez? I'll trade Toro for a freaking trail mix bag at this point. 2-2. Swing and hit high up into center field. Julio will take a couple steps from his natural position to make the catch. And that will be all. But the damage is done. An insanely, almost like a pool ball cue being hit by your grandpa, where grandpa uses those old hustler skills of his, and he hits that crazy spin. He says, "How did you get the spin on that ball, Grandpa?" He says, that's grandpa magic, kid. You don't get that till you're about 60, 65. So pay me the money you owe me now. I won the game. Grandpa, I thought we were doing this for fun. I said, $5 a ball. I said, $5 a ball. Was that just my grandpa? Was it just me? Was it just my family? Big Country would do a trade of Toro for a bag of Doritos. I wouldn't even do a big bag of Doritos either, Big Country. I'd do those cheese-ass, really stealing. It's really the company stealing Fritos at that point. When they give those little kid chip bags that are about this big, right? You open it up and there's like 3 chips inside and one of them's half broken. It's kind of like that. 23 says send Toro to the A's and the Reds while you're at it. I'm fine with that. Steve Cottrell says, well, all of Kirby's work was literally for nothing. Seawall is allergic to getting 3 outs, apparently. It's brutal, man. You had the stage set. I had a lot of confidence in bullpen with where you had brought this game. And, Kirby earned that win. He should have gotten that win in this game. Tough luck for him to have to come out of this with a no decision. I'm going to get some water, folks. Throat's getting a little bit dry. I'm going to have to get Rally Cat here in a second. I'm going to have to rub the Rally Cat. Desperate times. Desperate measures, fellas. And women, if we have a woman out there. Croto says, wow, that Cal home run is so important now to keep us in this game if we can't score in the next 2 innings. Agreed. And scoring has not been an easy thing for our Mariners in this game. Excuse me. Drink that water too fast. We got 6 total hits in this game. 3 walks. We've left 8 men on base. And we're going to be going into the middle of the lineup here. Though not necessarily the strength of this lineup. That's high and outside. And my God, Carlos Santana actually got a call. The ump has been freaking widening that zone out on him all night a little bit. And he finally got one in his favor. And he's on top of a at bat for once. 1-0, here's the delivery, and then swings at a slider that he should have just taken and stayed patient with. Maximum aggression, huh? First hitter in the 8th inning. It must just be ridiculous for these modern major league players to take pitches. Like they must just they seem so allergic at times to being patient. And I don't know if they've got a mainlining Adderall before every at bat, but hitters used to be so much more patient and willing to going into bats a little bit and to kind of, let's let this thing marinate a little. Let's at bat. Suarez showing a good eye on the first pitch for a ball. And he gets ball 1, then he gets a nasty slider on the outside part of the plate and he's just hacking away. Like, you ain't doing nothing with that. Let it be, man. You're a dead pull hitter from the left-handed side. You're not, and you're going to just all you're going to do is put that out in right field. Suarez swings, much like Santana, on a tough pitch to hit and just batters it in foul. There's some rough at-bats to watch in this Mariners lineup at times. Here's the pitch. Oh, that was a tough one there. Slider off the plate. Curveball, actually. Sorry. I did have a little more bend to it. 1-2. Nothing Suarez could do with that one. It's a good pitch. We just can't get on top of any of these at bats. You're just always kind of fighting from behind defensively, it feels like. Pitcher set, 1-2 delivery. Swing and a miss at a 96-mile-an-hour fastball at the top of the zone. Second K of the night for Suarez. It was a strike, or it's close enough you probably got to protect. But 96 in on your hands, top of the zone. Not doing much with that. Spectre 7 says, dude, the rally beers are flowing. I got this, Brandon. Don't worry. Okay. It's on you, brother. Just keep pounding them out. We'll get a run in there somewhere. 283 says, I mean, at least it's the Rangers bullpen, right? That's true, man. They're going to falter at some point. Give them time. So Jesse Winker steps up to the plate now. Winker is 0 for 2 in this game with a walk. Hitting 227 on the year. Nice time for Winker to do one of his golf shots there out into the right field porch. The wave working the way through the stadium. Ball thrown the dirt. 2-0. Okay, Jesse, a little patience like that. 283 says, I'll open a rally juice box. All right, so we got 3-3 here, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, 2-0 count here on Jesse Winker. Let's see if he does remain patient in this at bat or if he comes back now hacking away. Are we going to get a home run swing here, 2-0? Here's the delivery. Pitch, high. Damn it, ump. The ump zone has not been horrible tonight, and Winker lets him know. The ump zone's not been horrible, but there's been times that just key moments where it's like, damn, dude. When he misses with the call wildly. Strike call and a ball there. Good eye by Winker. Not his fault, and he fouls off a 97-mile-an-hour fastball just off the plate. Brutal call, though, there by the ump. And I can understand Winker giving him the business there. That should be 3-0. 2-2 count now. Big Country says, no idea how the ump missed that one. That was a ridiculous. I get it if it's close. And a curveball, he manages to knock that foul. Tough pitch to hit. Good job of just fighting that off by Jesse. But that was dumb. You don't get a miss by 3 inches, 4 inches. Jesse adjusts his helmet, re-velcros his gloves, takes a deep breath. Ranger pitcher comes set. Here's the delivery. Curveball falls into the dirt. Full count. Dylan Moore sitting on deck. Jesse with a nice at bat here. Good patience there by Jesse. Doesn't bite on the outside curveball that's well off the plate. We got a man on. We got a man on. Hot dogs on the Barbie. Let's cook them up. Let's cook up these Wiener Schnitzels. Oh, God, I saw a Toro, too. Oh, Lordy. We're getting the Toro train. Okay, well, he's clutch, right? At least he's really clutch. Well, at least he's... Okay, Abraham. Well, I mean, it ain't like Dylan Moore's not worthy of being pinch hit for, right? And Moore was, I guess, who had taken over for Lewis over there in right field to pinch run for him earlier, which I hate as a decision, by the way. I would have liked to have, I'm sure they did it kind of for defensive reasons as much as anything there, but you need Lewis's bat in this lineup. End stop. Full stop. Chrono says, wait, we got to walk? Yep, we got to walk with Winker, so Winker's on first. Gabriel Pardoma, Seattle va a ganar. I don't know what that means, Gabriel, but welcome on the chat. Y2K says, if one guy gets on, we got Julio up in the 9th. It's true. All right, so Abraham Toro's got 24 career home runs as a player. 21 of those have come from the left side, which is where he's batting right now. So this is where he does his damage. When he does do his damage. There we go. First pitch by Bush. He goes back to first. Haggerty has taken over for Winker over there as a pinch runner. Got to keep an eye on that guy. Please, Toro. Please. Sam for the season is 13 out of 14, or for a career is 13 out of 14 in stolen base opportunities. Another just crap call by the umpire there. A ball well below the zone that he calls a strike. Ump. You're missing on pitches that are 2 and 3 inches out, man. Come on. 2 in 1 inning. 0-1 now to Toro. Throws back over to first, keeping Haggerty close. Quite honestly, if I'm the Mariners here, I don't look to move with Haggerty. I've got a left-handed Toro up, which does create, I don't think I see the shift over there from the Rangers, so you do have a little bit of space to that right side if he can push that ball through over there with the first baseman holding the runner at the bag. And if he steals the base, you don't have that. Goes back over. Haggerty's not taking a huge lead. Ow, kitty. Meow is right. All right, 0-1 on Abraham Toro. Ranger pitcher Bush gets set on the hill. Haggerty going. Decent jump. Safe. Brilliant slide by Haggerty. He had a decent jump, not a great jump. The catcher made a great throw in there, and Haggerty just did a good job of getting around the back end of the bag. It's on that play, if you slide towards the front of the bag, he's going to be called out, right? You can see it on the slow motion. But he aims, as a good base runner does, to the back, that back edge portion, so that the guy, the second baseman there coming in to make that play, then has to sweep that glove a little bit more further through the zone to get to that foot. And in that little bit of extra time is just enough time for him to get in there and get safe. It's that little difference in base running, right? That small little detail in that moment. Great job by Haggerty. And he's there. He's there, safe. One now. That was a ball, by the way. Toro swings aggressively, sends it up into the air, weakly, without any sort of threat. And the Rangers have it, and that will retire the side. 3-3, going into the 9th. Well, Toro's doing a good job of turning around the narrative, huh? 283 says, I don't think we can get a bag of Doritos for Toro. Even the child-sized bag might be a little aggressive at this point on our part. We might be shooting for the moon with that in our imagination. How about a half piece of chewed gum? I mean, I'll go spearmint. I'll go Bubblicious. I'll go with one of those ones where you see the commercials of the old ones with the gums where they'd be blowing the ice out of their mouth because it's so refreshing. I'll take even some of that. I'll take a half a pack of that for Toro. Steven says, whoever put Toro in needs to be fired. Like now. I feel like, was Dylan? I know he's playing lefty-righty matchup there because you got Dylan as the right-handed hitter there, and instead now you can go to Toro, but this is the hole in our lineup right now when one of these guys come up to the plate, quite frankly. It just is. And a little bit of Frazier to a lesser degree on that too. Frazier's been better recently, but it's a problem. Crota says, can we please get rid of Toro? Like, send him to A-ball, and he might crest 300 there. Steve says he's not even worth the gum that is stuck under tables. Not even that, Steve? Well, you're probably right. I've seen some piss poor at bats from him in the last 2 series. Between the Houston series and this one, it's making my eyes bleed looking at it. But the team loves him. They keep trotting him out there. And it's really? There's not a better option somewhere? 283 says Toro must be blackmailing this front office with something. Exactly, dude. It's got to be something, right? Why would you keep trotting out a guy's hitting 160 or whatever with no power and marginal defense? Mariners are even in the wild card standings right now with the Tampa Bay Rays and 2 back of the Toronto Blue Jays at the moment, with the Guardians nipping at our heels. Big Country said he did have a home run on Sunday. That's about it. For more, yep. If you're a baseball player and you're hitting in the 160s and we're 90 games into a season and you is what it is at that point. I think it's pretty bad when you're already at the Mendoza 200 line and you can't even get over that. And 0-1 by Eric Swanson, who's now taking the hill for the Mariners here in the 9th on the first pitch. But to be a 160, to me, you're almost at a point at that spot where it's like you're overmatched at the major league level. Like really, you're not a major leaguer at that point. You don't have it. I'm sorry, you don't. It's extreme to maybe say, but it is what it is. That's such a low batting average to have to keep being trotted out there. And Swanson gets another swing and a miss there on the second pitch. Leota Taveras, who's been a little bit of a thorn in the Mariners' side early on in this series in the first 2 games. Swanson with the wind and the delivery. Inside, 95-mile-an-hour fastball for ball. Y2K says Frazier can get singles. I feel like I bet hits like 270 the rest of the way. We can make that work. Agreed. He's not as much a bigger problem as me looking at Dylan Moore and looking at Toro in this lineup, who every time they come up to the plate, I cringe. Just a little bit. Ball 2 there, just off the inside part of the plate. I guess the ump's not going to widen the zone for us like he was doing for them on the last inning. 2-2 delivery. Swing and knocked hard out into left. Base hit. And they will hold him to that to start things out. Nobody out. Rangers showing some fight in this game. Their batters are. They're not out here hitting hard balls off of Mariners pitchers. And a lot of times they're even swinging out of zone like that one. I mean, that was well out of zone that he swung at. But they're doing something with it. They're putting it in play. Less strikeouts, I feel like. Let me see. So you got 7 total Ks for the Rangers, and you got, it's only 1 more K for us. It feels like we've had 13 Ks in this game. Nick Solak is in the game now for the Rangers. He's hitting 200 on the season, pinch hitting here. And Swanson with the delivery. It looks like he's going to be bunting, which he indeed does. It's a great bunt. Great job by Swanson there. He had to run real long way, gets it into his glove, does not have time to take it out of his glove. He's kind of low-key, just looks like he sort of had the body language of I got this all the way, but it was actually a very close play. That does push the runner over to second base, though. But good job by him, just kind of, I got it. I know what I'm doing. I got this. Easy. We saw a Ranger pitcher try and do that the other night, or first baseman try to do that the other night, and he panicked a bit. But Swanson just kind of stayed nice and calm. Good job, Swans. Good job, Big Swans. It's good play. All right, 1 out now. Ball 1 here. The good news is that we are starting to work into at least the bottom of the order here a bit. Ezekiel Duran is up for Josh Smith. Ezekiel hitting 263 on the year. Swanson taking a long time there to get set. Boy, he was spinning that ball in his glove for a considerable amount of time there, pre-pitch. Ball. 2-0. Wonder if he considers pitching around him a little bit here to try to get to a... Because then you get to Valoria, who you feel a lot more solid about maybe pushing into a double play. And indeed, he does pitch to him, and the ball is down. That's going to fall. That's going to score the runner. That might have been... And they do get the runner going to second base for an out. I might have been a little more careful pitching to him there. You've got Valoria on deck. You can you could almost kind of pitch around him, try to get him to swing out of the zone, and then get him on, and then get a double play at that point. Not to mention the force out that you got at third then potentially. I know then at that point you are putting an extra guy on base, but you pitch to him and you got a good solid swing on it. And Haggerty tried to make a diving play, just could not get to it. And indeed, odd play there where his hand looked like it did slide off the bag as he was trying to take two. His momentum and force just kept taking him, and it looked like maybe his hand was off. The ump's right on top of it, watching it. It does look like his hand comes off for a second there, and the tag is being applied the whole time by Crawford. Grono says we're playing against the ump and the Rangers right now. Yeah, there's some tough calls here in this game by this ump. They're going to give Duran back the base, or they're looking at it still. He's out. Good thing it was called out. Yeah, there's not enough evidence there to overturn it. Call should stay on the field. Big Country says this game just hasn't gone our way tonight. No, and you gave up a lot of innings there with your batsmen where you didn't challenge the Rangers. You got that one inning where you pushed that starter, and then you just kind of spent the rest of this game outside of Raleigh's home run. Everybody's just kind of just been flailing around a little bit. You just haven't done it much. I mean, some nights you're just not going to hit, I guess, but and the bullpen's let him down tonight, which has not been a common occurrence. Crono says, didn't we send Kelnick back down with a better at-bat average? Yeah, we did. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing I always kind of marvel at with Kelnick with some of these guys you trot out in this lineup. You'll trot out these soft-hitting hitters who have no power to offer, maybe some plus defensive gloves, but no power and no average, where at least with Kelnick, I know that I'm going to get the occasional power from him. And the play is going to stand, so that's going to be 2 outs now. Nobody on. Rangers do get the run, so it is 4-3. Y2K says Frazier or Crawford can get on, or Cal or Julio, home run easy. It's true enough. True enough. Very well said. This ain't over yet. Laurie is out now here with an 0-1 count. 23 says, good thing Lewis wasn't in the outfield. He certainly would have been able to track down like Haggerty did there, that's for sure. Swing and a miss on a slider. 0-2. All right, come on. Come on, Swans. Let's close this thing out. Get out of this. Hit up high, deep. Julio is under it. Tracks it. He's got it. Nice job. Well, Swanson does give up the run, so not a nice job in that respect. And now you are going to get the Rangers closer here, so see if our Mariners can dial up a little bit of magic here. They've gone from having this game firmly in hand to just getting right outside their grip. Tough game. Tough game. That one ball where the hitter literally hits that ball. Yeah, I don't know how many of those I've ever seen in my life where he hits it and it lands on the far foul side. I mean, that's in the base, outside of the base runner's line almost where it lands, but there's such a top spin because of the odd swing that he put on it. that it just spins it back inside the bag. And then that's going up against that point when you also have the shift on at the same point in time. Tough break. But like I say, when you put the ball in the bat, as opposed to swinging and missing on the constant, on the often, good things will happen. Balls will fall in. You'll hit them where they ain't. All right, Mariner fans, let's see if we got this. Final inning. Bottom of the ninth. On deck, you got Crawford, Raleigh, and Frazier as your first three hitters. Julio Rodriguez will be the cleanup hitter in this inning if we can get a runner on. Rangers bullpen was pretty good tonight, by the way. 3 innings, 1 earned run. All right, guys, come on. It's been a tough day with the bats. Let's turn it around here. And tomorrow's starters will be John Gray and Marco Gonzalez. It's a noon game on Root Sports. Maybe I will go live tomorrow with a nooner. I can just stream in the evening. That might be a lot of streaming. I don't know. I'll have to feel it out when I wake up. But Mariners are playing at noon tomorrow. Marco taking the hill. All right. Let's see if Crawford can come up here, give us a good at bat. Get on base by any means necessary as the leadoff hitter. That's what you'd love to do here. Just find a way. Just find a way. Raleigh getting ready with the big stick over there. He says, I'm going to put this game to rest here real quick. Real quick. All right. Brett Martin on the hill. It's not actually the closer, I don't think, for the Rangers. Lefty. First pitch is a strike. Wonder if he's looking to go lefty-righty in this inning with Croft. That was a good pitch. Comes set. A little high. 1-1. What's up, Wash Visquest? Always love it. Having fun doing this, man. And here comes the Ornbots. Y2K says Julio's first 2 home runs, it would be believe a walk-off would be pretty awesome. That would be awesome. All right, here's the 1-1 delivery. Low in the dirt. 2-1. Good eye by Crawford. Thanks, D-Boy, for taking the trash out. They love to come in at the at the late hours of the stream when we're not paying attention. All right, 2-1. Crawford's hanging in there. Hits it on the ground. Great piece of hitting. Hits it by the shift. It's an awesome job on his part. They say Major League players can't overcome the shift by hitting away from it, and that's just what he did. Put it where they aren't. If there isn't a shift there, that's a routine grounder to the third baseman. Instead, the third baseman's playing almost pseudo shortstop leaning towards the second base side with the shift, which means there's a nice wide hole open there for Crawford. That's what I'm talking about, D-Boy. You know, he comes up there and it's not just getting a hit on the first pitch. Him working the count, him remaining patient. He's got a tough lefty-on-lefty matchup, but then he works a base hit out of it. This is why I'm more plus and more on board Crawford versus other people that might be out on him. This is what this guy gives you, and that's so valuable to this team on top of what else you're going to build around him, I think, and everybody else. He'll be just a key component, I think, within it, though. Not a game changer, but a good key component. All right, Cal Raleigh steps up again, batting from the right side here with the lefty on the hill. Cal swings first pitch, hits it high into the air, foul, drifting. He got everyone on their feet with that one initially off the bat. Cal, of course, hit a monster shot to the far deepest regions of left center field. That's where that fence starts to really go deep, and he parked it up over that, showing off that power. He's got some big old bear mitts on him. 0-1 count here after the foul on the first pitch. Pitch comes set. Delivery. Swung and hit hard into the gap. This is going to land. This is falling into the gap. Crawford rounding third. He's helmets off. He's unwinding his jersey. He's going down for the plate. This is a play. The plate. He's there. Safe. 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 Woo! This game is tied, folks. Soto Mojo is back in effect. The Mariner Magic is here to stay this year. That's right. Cal Raleigh with a beautiful piece of hitting. He dug that ball out on the inside part of the plate, put it out into the gap in right field. Crawford got up on his horse, threw his helmet off, so that's 4 ounces more than I need right now. I need that extra 4 ounces of lightness to get me around this bag and get me home. Nice job by Crawford scoring on the play. The Rangers got to that ball really quickly in the gap, but Raleigh with a fantastic piece of hitting. He has been the hero of the day for us batting here so far in this game. Not to mention now, you've got Raleigh at second base. You have Frazier coming up to the plate. You have no outs. So we all know what's probably going to happen here now, which is Frazier's going to try to lay down this bunt and move Raleigh over to the other side. And indeed, that's what he does. Gets down a nice bunt. That will do the trick. It moves Raleigh over to the third base side. Great job by Frazier there. Doesn't have to be a perfect bunt, but you cannot do it firmly back to the pitcher, because you'll cause you'll cause Raleigh at that point to kind of freeze a little bit, right? And instead, right from the jump of that, it was instantaneous there that you knew that was going to work and be enough to get him over. Underrated by Frazier. Bunting has become a lost art in this sport. Great job, Adam. Great job. Julio Rodriguez steps up to the plate. 1 man out. Cal Raleigh on third base. Wait, is it not Julio yet? Isn't it Julio? Oh, they intentionally walk Julio. Bitches. Scared little bitches. They're intentionally walking the bases loaded? I mean, I kind of get it. Right? You know, I mean, these are two of your more dangerous hitters in this lineup. Two guys that have no problem with getting a sac fly. You move Santana to the right side here, which is away from, I think, where he's at his best, which is the left side. And boy, you've got a moment here for Santana, who's just had, between some hard luck, some bad calls by the ump today, some beautiful pitches by the opposition against him. He has really struggled to get a break here in this game. A guy that does have with his swing, though, a natural ability to lift the ball versus hitting it down into the dirt. Key here is going to be with him, because he does like to try to yank so much stuff, especially from the left-handed side. Go with the pitch. That's how you'll get elevation to the outfield with this. If you try to yank something, especially since I would reckon that the Rangers are going to work him off the plate to try to get him to turn over the ball, right? To try to roll the ball back over to third, shortstop, get a double play at that point. I would imagine that's how they're going to try to play this with Carlos. But be patient. Stay on the ball. Don't be afraid to be a little late on it. It'll just end up going still. It'll still get you the depth you need to get the runner home. But you do need to, oh, this is a tough one, because that's the bind you find yourself in, is that you're trying so hard to get the lift and you end up pushing the ball on the ground to the other side. First pitch is low and he doesn't get the call. I'm telling you, folks, this ump hates this man. That is the third pitch in this game that Santana's had that the pitch tracker has shown has been out of the zone by a far margin, and the umpire continues to give him the pitch. I don't know what's going on there. Stay locked in, Carlos. Ooh, he almost swung. Checks down to first base. No swing, ball. Good job, Carlos. Whew. Pitcher really whipped that one. He was trying to get some nasty movement on it, and he did. Carlos did a good job of holding up, though. I'm off the chat for a sec, guys. I'm fully in on this game right now, so if I don't respond to chat, bear with me. 1-1, bases loaded, 1 out. Here's the delivery. Again, low in the dirt. Just kind of overthrows it a little bit. If he's going to walk you, let him walk you, Carlos. We've got to win that way this year. We can do that again. Wait for your pitch, man. I'd sit on like a fastball here. He's 2-1. He ain't going to want to go 3-1 on this count. I sit fastball. I look for it in a spot. Look for something I can drive. 2-1 delivery. Gets a pitch, hits it high up into the air. I don't know if this will be enough. It's going to be on the land. Here's the throw into the plate. Raleigh's coming in. Safe. Oh my God. Safe. Safe. Woo! Let's go. Let's go. Game over. Game over. Game over. Game over. Game over. Game over. Mariners win. Mariners win. Game over. Yes. Yes. Oh, what a play. What a play. What'd I say? Carlos, get your pitch. Get your place. Carlos comes up with that 36-inch long bat. He can get the clearance to get out to that pitch. Oh, wait, we got a review. Damn it. Damn it. It was close. It was very close. It was close. They're reviewing. Oh, shit. Oh, damn it. This might be like the last play, though. It might be close enough to where it's too much on the edge. Let's go. It was right there on that edge of not quite being far enough to bring in Cal, but it far enough that you got to try on Cal at that point. And Cal, of course, is not the most fleet of foot being a catcher. And he was pumping them legs trying to get down there. They're reviewing whether he went early. I don't think he did. No, that's fine. They first tried to show him like he left the bag a little early. He didn't leave the bag early. They just showed it. It looked like he timed it perfect. Don't overturn this. That's good. It's a good play. He's safe. Let's dial this home now. Dial this home now. Mariner players are looking out, seriously tired, sweaty. Cal's just like, damn, I'm tired, man. I just caught a 9-inning game. I took the team on my shoulders tonight. Don't make me do more. Safe! The win is in! Woo! Big win, baby. Big win, baby. How about that Mariners? How about that Mariners? Julio lifts Santana up. Santana's getting sprayed down with a bottle, goes running around in circles, get out from under it. And look, this is baseball, folks. It's a unique sport unto itself. And it's been said once, it's been said many times, you never see the exact same game play out despite the fact you have 162 games. And there's always a unique story within the story. And yeah, this game was about Julio's opening home run coming off the injury and Cal Raleigh with the home run and the double to sustain this lineup when not a lot else was sustaining it. But to me, walking at the end of this game through this, and the story of this game as I walk away from it, is Santana. And Carlos in this game had some tough at-bats. The first at-bat, there were 2 pitches right on the black, and then I think a bad call, and then he had more of that go on throughout the course of this game, right? So he comes up now in this position, knowing here's a moment now where I can overcome this day. And I mean, he still ends up at 0-4, but it's the most beautiful 0-4 game you'll ever have, isn't it? And he comes up to the plate, and the first pitch is 3 inches out of the zone. It is, and I'm not overstating this for you folks that didn't get a chance to watch this whole game. There were literally 3 pitches that were not in the zone that were called strikes in his at-bats tonight, including that pitch where you're needing every pitch in that at-bat, right? You're trying to get out ahead of it. You're trying to get yourself into a count where you're not having to swing at a nasty curveball. And indeed, he still remained patient after that bad first pitch. He didn't get up in his head. He didn't panic. He took a ball or 2 there, got himself into a bit better count. And even on the pitch that he's swinging away, that's still within his clearance. That's still within his zone to be able to hit that. That's a ball a middle of the plate that you can get some lift to. And if I'm not mistaken, it was also on a 4-seam fastball. So like I was saying, he waited to get his situation where he got his fastball when he needed it. And then he took that out into center field as much as just far enough to get the job done. another foot closer, right? Raleigh might very well get tagged there, but just enough distance there. A great at-bat there by Santana in a night where he didn't necessarily have a lot of great at-bats, and he's really been scuttling over recent games. But he's gotten us a couple moments since his addition to this ball club where he's been very clutch at key times. And that was a clutch hit there to get that to the outfield and close this off. Nice job of this Mariner lineup to come back and pick up a bullpen that very often is picking up this team with the lack of run production by getting a very small lead and usually just holding it down like a clamp-like grip for the rest of the game. But what a fun game to watch. Back and forth, get you up. Julio with the opening leadoff home run. Raleigh starting to really come together now. He's only hitting 211, but the numbers there with the home runs and the doubles, you can see this player that's going to come to fruition here over the course of the couple of years at the catcher position. And dare I say, the Major League, history of the Mariners with the catching position, you've had some okay ones. Dave Valley's, Scott Bradley's. Of course, I'm forgetting the main one. I think there's one other guy I'm missing here. Dan Wilson, who's probably the best in Mariners history, and as much for what he did defensively. But you might very well in this kid in Raleigh have a guy who could become the best catcher in Mariner history by a wide margin if he rounds into the player that he's showing signs of becoming. A great job on his part to hold it down, much like with Ty France yesterday, going for 3 for 3 and then being hit by a batter and sort of just picking this lineup up where there's so many struggling parts to try to just get just enough. And that's all you need is just enough. There's no style points here, right? Get one more run than your opposition, you win the game. And now we've just taken a series here from the Texas Rangers, regardless of what happens tomorrow. We've won 2 in a row coming off this Astros series. Again, another reason why I caution some folks out there that we're taking too big of leaps on this team, saying that the Astros series means a huge, whole hell of a lot in the course of what it means towards the rest of the season. It doesn't. This team just needs to get hot. This team just needs to add some bats back into the fray, get Lewis back to healthy. Maybe Kelnick comes back into it. Maybe we're going to see a trade here within the next week for a starting pitcher. There are some interesting options out there. So just a great win, great momentum. One of the reasons why I'm so high on this team, not again just in this and for this upcoming year, which I am. I think this is a 90-win ball club, but also for the future of what this ball club could bear out. And when you got a young team in the playoffs, man, I'm telling you, that's the Cinderella story. That's the we're playing with house money. That's the nobody expects us to do anything, so we can just play free, loose, and easy, where you get some of those other teams that start to get a little bit tight because the expectations raise on them. The Yankees go in the playoffs, people are going to expect them, especially with Boston faltering, to dominate in the playoffs until they get to maybe Houston. And the same thing's going to be said for Houston. So fun to watch there. Fun game to watch. This is baseball, folks. This is baseball in the middle of summer. So let's get over here in the chat. I will be on my Hawks Nest channel side of things tomorrow. So we'll be on about 5 o'clock, if not maybe earlier, depending on. I might go a little earlier on that, but we'll be on that side. I don't think we're going to be live streaming the baseball game midday tomorrow, but you never know. I'm wild like that, right? I sometimes might do that stuff. Debo said, let's go, Mems. Let's go. Randy McDaniel says, veteran hitter going to get that ball to the outfield. That's right. That's especially for a guy with him with a natural kind of uppercut swing, a natural sort of want to lift balls anyway. That's getting him into that position's where it goes. 283 says, I'm telling you, the porn bot started this. Hey, I'll give him credit tonight. Tonight they can take the credit. 283. Watch this quest is awesome. Go M's, JP Cal, Santana, clutch indeed. Big Country says Astros lost 11 games back now. Hey, and we're still, if we look at it where Mariners were in 95, where they made that magical run, I think 13 games back at like August 1st. You're closer to where you were then. And I'm not trying to relate this team to the 95 Mariners. I know that spurs some fans' butts and they go, stop talking about 95 Mariners. But just talking about in the respect of just because you are 11 games back, a significant portion of those back, you can catch back up. That there is still enough time to do that. I'm not saying the team will. The Astros certainly beat our doors off in that 3-game series, but this is baseball, baby. Anything can happen. Dan the Man Wilson. That's right, Dan Wilson. And Cal Raleigh's got much bigger stick than Wilson had. Wilson was definitely a match for Cal defensively and his ability to handle and control a pitching staff. But Cal Raleigh has exponentially more power than Dan Wilson did. Randy says Raleigh looks like he drinks a glass of milk with dinner. He does kind of have that look. Pure Midwestern boy with a Midwestern name, he looks like to me. Probably from Cali or something. Randall says most homers by a catcher in the league. Ooh, good stat, Randall. Good stat. That's my formula with Cal. Okay, I don't care. 250 when he gets to his prime. Don't care. Plays phenomenal catcher, right? Phenomenal in that respect. And then also as he threw a runner out just the other night, and then hitting with power. And not just hitting with like marginal power, considerable power. Like a power for his position. I can handle a 250 batting average around those parameters. I'm certainly sure you could too, Randall. Wishing Fistquest says, let's not forget John Marzano. John was good. If you needed a brawl guy, he was a pure New Yorker, I'm going to go out there and brawl you guy, right? In fact, there was one game where he literally talked a hitter into just getting in a fight with him, not even when the hitter had been hit. Marzano just started piping at him because the hitter was trying to, I think, bitch and moan to the umpire or something. So he had a little chip on his shoulder, Marzano. He's a little guy, but he had some fire in that gut, in that belly. Sector 7, dude, these streams are amazing. You really have something brewing here, and I don't mean beer. Love this stuff. Thank you, Sector 7. Very kind of you to say, man. I love doing this stuff. So it's going to be a common element here with me doing these live streams on this channel. It's one of the reasons I really wanted to do this channel was be able to do these live streams with you and just watch these Mariner games. It does open itself to just a more casual discussion along with doing kind of play-by-play stuff. So I'm having a great time with it, man. Great time. Stinging Devil Rays, how's the team going? Well, we're back on a rise, Stinging Devil Rays. We had a 14-game winning streak. We got kneecapped a little bit by our nemesis, the Astros, in this division in a 3-game series where they swept us, but now we're coming back strong against the Rangers, who've, as of recently have played us pretty strong as well. They haven't dominated us a little bit like the Astros have in recent years, but they've definitely played us tough throughout. It's never an easy matchup going through the Rangers. So good to get 2 easy wins, not easy wins, but 2 early wins in this series. And we'll see what we can get out tomorrow. Y2K says, forcing fastball away does seem like a bad pitch selection for the pitcher in that situation. It is, but that's what happens when you get yourself into the 2-1 count, right, Y2K? Because you got to think of it like this. If I'm a pitcher on the hill there, I've got the bases loaded. I cannot get into a 3-1 count because that absolutely means the hitter knows I've got to throw him a fastball there. I mean, he's going to have it narrowed down to the nth degree that I got to throw a fastball. Whereas on the 2-1 count, you're playing the odds that the hitter maybe has at least a little bit of bearing in mind that he might have to deal with a little bit of a curve there or something, off speedish. So you're right. It's not a great pitch, but this is the part of Santana being so smart is he gets the first pitch, bad call in the ump, still call the strike, maintains that patience, gets the ball call on the slider and the change on the next 2 pitches, works himself into a hitter's count. Now you've got the pitcher on his heels. And a little bit of a place you see these Mariners hitters go awry where they can correct the situation at times is so often getting themselves always on their heels in an at-bat, always getting down 0-1, 0-2. And a lot of the time because you're swinging at pitches early in the count that are out of the zone. You're being over-aggressive rather than being patient. I think this lineup will be at its best when it can just get even a modichrome of patience injected in at times, rather than just getting so antsy to swing and swing hard at that. Y2K says, if Cal hits 250 with power and defense, that's like top 5 catcher or higher. Just saying. Exactly, Y2K. Exactly. That's amazing production from the catcher position. And it's a little bit why when we look at the view through this team, it's not to look at this view of we got to get 5 tool guys at every position on this team. That's the goal. That's a goal we'll never reach. It's about building together the right team of pieces that go and work together really well. I think Crawford and France and Julio and Cal, these parts all work together. The lefty to righty matchups you can play. A lefty can't just come out as a starting pitcher and slay this lineup because you got right-handed bats that can take advantage. And the same thing is true against the right-handed pitchers as well. And that's good to have that kind of flexibility. Stinging Devil Rays, as if this was 2012, I think Seattle wins the division. Potentially, yeah. I agree with you. I think the Astros probably at the end of the day do end up taking this division when it's all said and done. But I do like our chances in the playoffs with house money. I like our chances in the playoffs when nobody expects us to do anything at that point. And you never know with what we might add. You've not yet seen this Mariner team at full strength yet. You've not. Haniger's not been out there. Lewis hasn't been in his normal mode at any point in time with Julio. And I think when you get all those parts together, I think it's going to be a pretty good crew. Jackson says also congrats on 200 plus subs on the channel. You deserve it, Brando. Thank you, Jackson. We had some great growth here in the last couple of weeks. We had a video kind of go sub-viral a little bit, and that helped out a ton. Debo, thank you for mentioning that. If you do like what you're listening to on this stream, please do me a favor and hit that like button for me. It does help this out considerably. Brandon, how do you feel about XM's player Raul Ibanez? Raul was a very good player I think he had a couple of outlier seasons where he had really excellent production rather than just pretty good production. But he was a 275, 270 guy with 20 home runs a year in his best years. He took a long period of time to kind of become productive. You know, he was working his way through where he was an interesting prospect that was kind of scuttling for a while, not full on failing, but kind of just scuttling a bit. But then he went on to have a very long career as just a very consistent player in the league. Never a star, never even on the precipice of being a star. Probably had a year where he was our best hitter, but that was one of those years where we had nothing in the lineup, I think. But understood the art of hitting really well. A very smart player at the plate. A good approach, good short swing to the ball. Good player. Jackson, what happened with Sewald? Bad night, it happens, but walks are a no-no, especially at the Rangers. He was missing wildly up and outside with the fastball. And when that's happening that far, when I say up and outside, I mean like a foot and a half up and outside. And when you see that, you go, ooh, okay. So he's just not, his feel for it isn't there tonight. And I think there's times with relievers, just like there's with starting pitchers, where you just don't have a feel for it. You don't have your A stuff. And tonight, his lack of A stuff was a lack of A stuff that just wasn't accurate. He was just wild and all over the place. But Sewald will bounce back. He tends to be very consistent for us. Jackson says there's a rumor that teams want Kelenic. I would trade him for a guy like Luis Castillo or Frankie Montas, but I'm not going to trade him just because. Agreed. I'm not offloading him just to offload him. I'm not going to offload him if the people that are asking for him are trading him into this most depressed state, meaning you're moving a guy at his lowest worth. I don't want to do that. Not when I still have club control, not when he's still only 23 years old. If I've got to hold on to him through the offseason and say, earn your way to the Major League Ball Club next year through that, if I'm getting those kind of lesser offers, that's what I do. Castillo would be a guy that I would expect to command Kelenic as a beginning piece in that package to bring him in. But I don't know that it's going to take a considerable amount more beyond Kelenic to bring in Castillo. A couple of other prospects, but I'm not talking the top end guys, not Hancock, not Marte. I don't think it would cost that. I think you'd be able to get away with it on, with Kelenic plus a little bit more. Maybe even a major leaguer on the roster right now that you could put in there too. Watch Visquest. Ibanez hit the first home run in Safeco, if memory serves. Wasn't on the M's at the time, though. That's right. I believe he was playing for the Royals at that time. Singing Devil Rays. I'll be rooting for Seattle this postseason, only if the Rays don't limp their way in, but I like Seattle's chances more this year. Well, thank you, Sting Devil Rays. We can use all the help we can get when it's been 20 years of tough luck like we've had. So if it comes from Florida, we'll take that help from Florida. We'll take that good mojo coming out of Florida. We need it. So I appreciate that, man. Fun club to watch this year. We're having a really good time watching this team. Fraternal Cloud. Marco is due for a good outing. He's been bad his last couple of starts. Agreed. Can he hit his spots tomorrow? It's not a super tough Texas Ranger lineup here. Can you hit your spots? And if Marco's hitting his spots, if he's able to stay over on that black, both sides of the plate, and stay out of the middle of the plate, he's going to be successful. When he has to start finding the middle of the plate because he's been doing too much nibbling, that's where it goes bad for him. Stinging Devil Rays says every game Seattle plays this year feels like October. Kind of does, doesn't it? We're always in close games. It's always a dogfight back and forth, a lot of drama. I agree. It's one of the reasons I kind of started this channel up this year is you saw the flickers of it last year where we've had 20 years of bad baseball, but that's also been horrific baseball to watch. Last year wasn't horrific baseball to watch. It was fun baseball to watch. And it was a team starting to come together, and you were seeing the sparks of life that you're seeing here. And it doesn't have to be, I need a team to be dominant for me to watch you, but just at least play decent baseball. Maybe the results won't bear it out. Maybe you'll be a middle-of-the-road type team, but don't be putrid at times in your luck. And this team has not been that. They've been so much fun to watch. And, yeah, every game feels like it's got a sense of stakes to it this year, even as we're in July 26th of the season, right around the midpoint. Jackson George says, if J-Rod stays with us, if A-Rod stays with us in 2001, do we win it all? I don't know. I don't know about that. Because that team was a lot of team about how it all came to. That was a true team, much like you see with this one. It all went together. The starting staff went together with the team defense. And the hitters were guys that were not necessarily looking to just drive the ball out of the ballpark. You had more of guys that could just consistently get in there and just move runners along and be good in his hitters hitting line drives and draw your share of walks. So I don't know on that I'd be as certain that he would be the thing to put you over the top. The thing I consider about that time in late mid 90s to the early 2000s, the Yankees were spending incredible amounts of money, and they were stacking such huge rosters on top of the fact that they were doing a good job with their development from within. So they would get young players coming up, and then they would stack huge payrolls on top of it. And that's a 1-2 punch that's tough to overcome for a Mariner team at the time that didn't have the same kind of payroll that they could operate from. And I think that might have been too big of an amount to overcome, even with an A-Rod type on the team versus what you had. I think we had pretty good shortstop play that year too. I can't remember who it was, but I want to say we had actually fairly solid shortstop play that year. Marco does find a good way to go 5, no matter what I will say. He does. He'll get you through 5. I'll give him a few runs. We'll get through 5. Wish we had Randy's a big country in 01. That might have made the difference. Being able to trot out Randy against the Yankees in one of those games and knowing he could shut that lineup down, he might have been more of a key even than A-Rod at that point. Because I want to say that in that series, your starters just weren't quite as effective as they had been throughout the course of the year. They weren't bad, and I'm going deep in my memory banks here, but I want to say that they also weren't as what I think Randy would have been, which would have been dominant in those series. Stinging Devil Rays, those last 3 games against Angels last year got me invested. Nice to see this year even better. That's good to hear, man. I'm glad that they're entertaining other people, so it's not just my homer spirit watching going, hey, this team's actually kind of entertaining. But they are looking that way to baseball. And I think we'll kind of become the darlings of baseball throughout the course of this year if we can continue to kind of hold this together. People will be rooting for us. They know it's been a while. Fraternal Cloud, I'm not sure I like Santana at the 3 spot for much longer. I don't either, Fraternal. I don't either. I'm not a fan of it. Let's move on from that one. We don't need him in the 3 spot. He's not hitting anywhere near consistent enough to be putting him there. And you can see what they were trying to do, right? You got righty, lefty, and you don't want to go, but I have Crawford 2, France 3, Suarez 4. That's my lineup. Fishco says, I miss Joey Cora. All his 2001 talk reminds me of the 300 season. I remember Lou sitting him at the end of the year to keep the 300. I remember that. Joey's a good little player. Good little spark plug at the top of the lineup. D-Boy, Brandon, what grade would you give the M's first half now that we're in the second half of the baseball? A+ being the best, F being the worst. I'd give him an A. I thought that this year, D-Boy, as I said in my opening video on the channel, that there was going to be more, we had a good run last year and that this team very well may win less games, but be taking further steps forward in their development to getting finally good down the road. And I thought that would still make this season a success at the end of the day if they were taking those steps. And to not only be taking those steps, D-Boy, but to be taking those steps and winning ball clubs, to be well above 500 through that first half of the year. On a 14-game winning streak as things are coming together at the right time of year for you. I got to go A. Have I gotten a chance to watch the Jeter doc? He and A-Rod hated each other. I may. I got to be honest with you, with both Jeter and A-Rod, they always both of them sort of rubbed me in a way that was, with both of them, I know it's hard to root against Jeter because he's such a nice guy, but something about him, I don't know. Stinging Devil Rays, I got a topic. What do you think Seattle needs fixing that they will trade for the deadline? Stinging Devil Rays, I think it's starting pitching at this point that they're going to lock in. We have George Kirby's on a pitch count. He's on an inning count. You saw it today with the 50 pitches he thrown. He's not going to be able to start throughout the rest of the course of the season. They're going to want to probably shut him down at one point or another. So you do need another very good quality arm to come out now at this point because that's what Kirby's kind of giving you when he is pitching. So I would say a guy, not a number 1, but if we could find a number 2, a good solid number 2 guy out there somewhere. And Castillo's the guy, of course, I think that is the main guy on everybody's lips for us for the Reds. That would be the trade that to me makes a lot of sense. From a hitter standpoint, we're getting bad Mitch Haniger. Lewis will eventually settle into the lineup with Julio there and France and Crawford and Raleigh. I think you'll have enough in all of that. But top end starter rotation. Jackson, let's say John Stanton offers Julio 10 years, $300 million. Do you think he takes that? Maybe. Maybe. There are players that are taking those type of deals, Jackson. And you do have the opportunity now because he is the rookie to come to Julio and say, okay, we have club control years ahead of us here where we can have you at a very cheap rate over the next couple of seasons. Do you want to maybe get paid a little bit early and we'll blow out those years of club control, but you got to take a little bit less? And to me, it's a very easy middle ground, I would think, to find with the player. Dave Davenport, I think Haniger at 3, and maybe they keep Gino at 4, and Eugenio at 4, and Santana at 5. I could that works. That works. Say nothing too, though, Dave. Of course, if Lewis can start to really get cracking with his bat, how he might work into that as well. But I like that with Rodriguez. You go Rodriguez righty, lefty to Crawford, back to righty with France or with Haniger. So then, Dave, are you pushing France down to 6 in the order at that point? Because I would go Julio, Crawford, France, and probably Haniger there, and then Eugenio behind him. I got to think it through a little bit more, though, Dave. I honestly probably should give it more thought, but it's something like that. Debo says, what old school player do a lot of M's fans not give enough credit to? Hard to say, really, D-Boy. It's a little bit echoes of the Seahawks team where, it's like you have what the Seahawks team was in their infancy through the early 80s, but minus having a guy like Largent or Kenny Easley. You didn't really have that through the early part of your run. Jim Bradley, Alvin Davis. We had a third baseman that was good for a couple of years at that time. But I think everybody's pretty much held contextually in the right view of things. Maybe Adrian Beltre, because he had a lot of balls die at the warning track in that stadium because of his right-handed stroke, but his defense and overall game that he brought to play for us, I thought was pretty good through his time here, and I would have loved to have re-signed him, actually, because he was such a complete player overall. Maybe didn't run great, but great defense, good stick. Maybe that would be the guy for me. Jamie Moyer would be another guy that, probably isn't looked at historically as well as he should be for the longevity of pitching here and how good he was for as long as he was. He's respected, but kind of been forgotten about, I think, in retirement a little bit for what he brought to play. Guy threw freaking 78 miles an hour and was getting people out. Incredible. And we are going to wrap this up here, folks, because I got to get moving here, and I got to stream tomorrow for about 5 hours with training camp, so I got to save my voice here just a little bit on this, but we'll get the last couple of questions in here. Fraternal Cloud, when Haniger comes back, is Lewis the primary DH? I think he is, Fraternal Cloud. I think the straightforward approach here is that you run the lefty-righty matchup with Haniger and Winker in left field, and I think that they're looking to bring Haniger back slowly in order that when he comes to the Major League Ball Club, they don't have to protect him at the DH spot, but that they can put him out in the field. And so if you've got a lefty on the hill, you go Haniger. If you've got a starting right-handed pitcher on the hill, you'll tend to go to Winker. I think that initially that's the route to go out the gate. That's the straightforward one. Ethan says, let's go, baby. I've been on vacation this week, so I've been able to tune in much. Keep the streams up. Let's go, Mariners. Julio with a boom. 82 home runs. Let's go. Spectre, I can't deal with the idea that Julio can leave. Dude needs to be a Mariner for life. Dude does. He needs to remain. We've lost too many superstars in this city. Let's circle the wagons around this kid. That's why I say offer him the deal now. Now's a good time to jump ahead of that because you can provide him security and keep him here in the long term. Dave Davenport says France at 2 and abandon the left right thing at the top. Makes sense. I can see it, man. That's a pretty tough opening part of the lineup with going Julio France. That ain't making it easy on starting pitchers. Hopefully you got enough in the middle of the order though. Then at that point, Haniger and Eugenio and those guys need to rake at that point in the lineup. Then go like Crawford 9. I kind of like Crawford better at the 9 than I like him at the 7 where he was tonight. Big Country Rixie Sexton. He's okay, man. That stadium just brutalized his swing. I mean, that thing, his power was to the deep left field of the park, and that's the furthest point of the park to sometimes reach. He could have some prolific power on certain swings, but yeah, that's the one. I don't know if he's not appreciated. I mean, he did all right, but you signed both Sexton and Adrian at the same time. I think Adrian was probably the little bit of the better sign, much better of the signing, I think, of the two. D-Boy, thank you for reminding me on that. Everybody, please do hit that like button if you can for me, please. Does help this channel show up on other fans looking for Mariners content. So I know it's a small, silly thing, but it's a silly thing that helps this channel out. So please do that if you can for me. I appreciate it. Oh, you were joking, Big Country? Yeah, he did kind of suck. Struck out a lot. Y2K, I'm 2 for 2. When I watch these streams, we've got to keep the luck going, Y2K. I expect to see you in here. All right, well, we will wrap it up on that point. Good night to you, D-Boy. Thank you for holding it down on the mod front as you do on my football side of things. Great stream as we've had here. 5 straight streams here to kick this off on the channel. We've had some great growth. We'll be keeping this up. I'm going to probably miss the stream tomorrow midday, but we will most likely be back. Might be out a couple days, but we'll be back for the Astros series one way or another. So if it's not Friday night, we'll be back in on Saturday on that. But we'll keep an eye on this. You might see me tomorrow. You never know. I might get I get tangy with it. So Dave Davenport, Mark McLemore from My Forgotten Mariner. He's a good player. He'd find a way to get on base at times. Great all-time name, too. Great all-time name. Well, our Mariners got the win. We got a series, folks. We're back on top of things. 2-game winning streak. The memories of the Astros are far gone. Let's build on it again tomorrow. Marco, get out there on the hill. Hold it down as that 5th starter of the rotation. Turn this thing back over so we can get ready back for this Astro team for this weekend and let them know that last week was an anomaly. You got the best of us. We had the All-Star Hayes thing going on. Julio with his wrist. We're going to have the full complement of our power next time, though, and we're giving you a much tougher fight. Let's see if we can do that. Thank you to all of you guys for watching. Chat was amazing. Guys were just on it tonight, so thank you for that. Very kind of you guys. We'll keep this going. We'll keep this up. Please do not ever forget, never forget. Go Mariners.